This is how the program is going to go. So we are going to give you universities you can apply for free. Remember, we do this every weekend. And so from the previous episodes since last year, we give you every episode, we give you 3 universities you can apply for free. And this week we are going to do the same. So after that, if you have any questions, we'll be responding to them and I'll share the link in the various social media platforms so that you can join us live if you do have any questions for us. Just click on the link and then we'll be happy to respond to your questions. So for now, take your pen and a paper. Happy New Year to you. This is the first episode of the Study Abroad podcast. In 2026, we are grateful for life and we thank God for bringing us this far. And so the Study Abroad process continues. The Study Abroad journey continues. Remember that at any point in time that you are ready, there is always a school to apply to. And so, as I speak to you now, a lot of universities, unfortunately, have ended their applications for the September, August, which is the fall semester 2026. They ended it in December, some in 1st of January. The good thing is that there are still some universities that are admitting. And so, some will end January 15th. January 31st or January 30th, and even in February, March, April, there's still a university to apply to. Any point in time that you are ready, there is always a school you cannot meet their deadline. That is there. But whenever you are also ready, there is always a school you can apply to. So that's the good thing. And so, you are not late if you still want to apply for the fall 2026 or want to start school in August or the September 2026 year. The admission, the scholarship process, and then the visa process can be started today if you are ready. There's always a school to apply to. The good thing is that there is something we call rolling admission. There are universities that even after their deadline, they are accepting applications on rolling basis, which means that when you wake up, you wash your face and you want to study abroad today, there is a school to apply to. The name is The Fred Effect. In case this is the first time you're coming across our Study Abroad podcast, we do this on every Saturday. The reason is simple. We have individuals who have gone through the study abroad process, like myself. And so I invite them so that they share their process, their journey. Which university are they studying in? Which scholarships are they on? How did they go about their study abroad process? They are from the same country you are. They went to the same university or the same high school you graduated from. How were they able to work on the process? What was their CGPA? How much did it cost them? When did they start? What schools did they apply to? They give us all this information so that you who want to study abroad, it could be easier for you. We've done this consistently every Saturday for the past 3 years or 4 years or so. And it has been beneficial. It has been impacting a lot of lives. There's been a lot of progress when it comes to people, getting inspired, empowered to pursue higher education abroad. The name is The Fred Effect, and you're welcome to another episode of the Study Abroad podcast. Today, my cap is not capping, so pardon me. But yeah, let's start with the universities that you can apply for free, and then we can bring our guests on, and then we get going. So let's start with the first university I'm sharing today. It's called the University of Rochester. So the University of Rochester is actually located in a state of New York, and then in the state of New York, the city is called Rochester. So Rochester is in New York. New York, people know New York as a vibrant city and all that. But remember, New York as a city is located in a state called New York, and then the state called New York has another city called Rochester. And this Rochester, there is a university there called the University of Rochester. And, I always explain that to get the application fee waived, sometimes there is a code. Sometimes you have to attend a webinar. Sometimes there's something else you have to do. Like the University of Dayton that I shared the other time, the school is actually waiving it. So even if you have the money to apply, the school is taking it off. That now, you getting the application fee waived does not guarantee that you're going to get a scholarship. Remember that I am only giving you a way to make one part of the process easier for you. The other part you have to do it. Understand that you need to talk to the department head, email them to figure out if they will have a scholarship for you or not. So in the comment section, type the name of the university. The name of the university is called University of Rochester. And now this is where I come in. I'm going to show you how you can get the waiver. So this is for PhD and master's degree applications. And this is how you do it. So I will share this website. When you go to the School of Education and Human Development, it's called the Warner School of Education and Human Development. When you visit their website, you scroll all the way down, and then there's a portion that says request information. So when you want to apply to a school, it is important that you either email the director of the program, you use the request information section to get information from the school, or maybe you attend a webinar to talk to somebody. And that's one of the ways of getting information. And by doing so, application fee will be $70. So even if you don't have this information and you don't do this, you would have paid $70 to apply to a school. Meanwhile, there's a way to waive it. So when you scroll down, there's request information section. They said that receive a $70 application fee waiver when you complete the form below. So by just requesting that they should send you information about the program, the school you want to apply to, and stuff like that, you qualify for an automatic $70 waiver. This information is something you wouldn't know if somebody do not show you. And it's not the entire university. Remember, the university is huge. They have a lot of programs, but there's a specific, school, or there's a specific department, and they have a lot of programs. I'll show you some of the programs. But when you scroll down, and then you enter your name, maybe the Fred Effect, your email, your phone number, citizenship status. The citizenship status, allow them to know whether you are an international student or you're applying from, within. So a non-citizen will apply to most of my listeners at the moment. Intended year, when do you want to start? Is it 2017, 2027, 2026, 2028? It doesn't matter. And then if you're affiliated to University of Rochester, and would you like to receive information? Obviously, you should select yes. And then when you submit it, then they will send the specific code. So you cannot do it for anybody. You need to use your email. Remember, the email that you enter here is the same email you have to use when you want to start your application. Don't use kwakumensa@gmail.com to request for the information and go and use edi@gmail.com to apply to the school. So the same email you are using to request for the information will be tied to the application fee waiver. And the code you will get is different from another person's code. And the college, the school actually have a lot of programs. So let's check out some of their programs that they have. So the master's and the doctoral programs are a lot. Let's look at the master's. So they have applied behavior analysis, clinical mental health, education policy, health professional education, higher education, human development. They have K-12 educational leadership. So K-12 educational leadership is like, secondary school or maybe primary school educational leadership. And, program evaluation, they have school counseling and then teaching. So let's go to the PhD programs. And so they have the counseling PhD and EDD, K-12 educational leadership, education policy, human development, higher education. So contrary to the argument that, when you get application fee waiver, there is a pressure. Look at, there's a lot of programs. The program you are applying to will not be the same program Kwaku Mensah is applying to. So where is the, competition? And in any case, if you want to apply to this school and you don't see this information I'm sharing, and you go ahead and apply to and pay the application fee waiver, it doesn't take you out of the competition. And remember, I said that to get scholarship, talk to the HOD of the department you want to apply to. So if you want to apply to the education policy program, email somebody, and then that's going to be helpful. We are live on TikTok, we are live on Instagram, on Facebook it's the Fred Effect, on YouTube it's the Fred Effect. Let's move on to the next one. So the next one is undergraduate. So I shared graduate applications. So let's look at undergraduate as well. So this one is posted on Facebook, and the university, Louisiana State University at Shreveport. And then they posted on their Facebook page that ready to cross one of your New Year's resolutions off your list. If earning your bachelor's degree at Louisiana State University at Shreveport is one of your 2026 goals, now is the best time to apply. Throughout the rest of the month, we are waiving the application fee for first-time freshmen and transfer. Transfer is like continuing student when you want to apply from Ghana, and freshman means that you want to start from level 100. That means if your WASSCE results are ready, they are waiving. Originally, if you visit their website at the moment, they will tell you that to apply to the university, you need to pay a $30 application fee as an international student. Let me show you that real quick. So when you click on the link, it says that international application fee is $30. If you're local, it is $20. However, they posted on their Facebook page, and that's why it's important that if you want to study abroad, some of these pages of the universities, the colleges, the department, try and follow them so that, when they share information, you don't miss it. On the website, it's $30. On the Facebook page, they just shared that, at up till January 31st, they'll be waiving the application fee for you. So this is information which you can get from the website. It's a public information. It's not from the Fred Effect. All right. So let's look at the last school. The last school is actually, an Ivy League. It's called Vanderbilt University. And interestingly, guess what? I was in Nashville yesterday. Nashville is where the university is located. It's called Vanderbilt University. It's an Ivy League. It's actually a private university. Now, the same way on the education department, the application fee is about $90 or so. However, if you apply to their EDD or Master of Education program, please pay attention. This is very important. They charge about $90-something for application fee, but they indicate over here that if you're applying to their EDD or the MED, which is a Master of Education program, then you don't have to pay application fee. So PhD application fee will require a $95 fee. So if you are applying and then it's any other program, then it's $95. And they indicate that students at the school, the Peabody, receive full funding for their tuition as well as stipends for living expenses. So if you gain admission into their PhD program, then you get full funding. Now let me go to where they said that you can apply for. Okay, so applying to the masters, so all the masters program and the EDD programs is free. So this is the keyword here. And this is information you need to really dig, because on one hand, they are saying that it's $95. But if you read this information, applying to our masters and EDD programs is free, and all applicants are automatically considered for merit-based scholarship. So it's clearly indicated, $95, get it for free. What did you do? You just have to watch the Fred Effect on Saturday on the Study Abroad podcast. We are trying as much as possible that, the stress, I was able to apply to only one school. The reason was that when I was in Bole Bamboy, National Service Allowance was $559. And when I retrieved that is what I can use to afford one application. If I knew some of these information, it would be easier for me to apply. That's why we are trying to get you all this information. So type in the comment section. What we shared was University of Rochester. You have to know is the Warner School of Education. We shared Vanderbilt University is their master's program and EDD program, and then Louisiana State University at Shreveport. This session will still be live across all our social media platforms, so you can check it out later on. Let me bring my co-host on, and then we can get going. So my co-host has always been Ben. Ben, how you doing? Your microphone is muted. You have to unmute it. Let us know in the comment section where you're watching us from. So, okay. Ben, your microphone is muted. You have to unmute it.
Yeah, Fred.
Go ahead. Okay, how is the UK? How are you doing?
Me. Yeah, everything is fine. Yesterday it snowed, and as usual, the weather is very cold at the moment. I think we're in the negative. So apart from that, everything is fine at the moment.
Awesome. Let's bring our guest on, and then we quickly can get started. Senior ID, how are you doing?
Mr. Fred, Charlie, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for your time.
Ben, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Yeah, Eddie Murphy, I'm good though, and you?
I'm good.
I like your background and the way when you might smooth near there. What happened? Is there something going on there?
As you even I think as I even texted you earlier on, I was even sleeping. I was like, nah, Charlie, I don't miss my boss in this the show today.
We'll pull up. Thank you for making time. So a quick introduction, your name, which university you're studying, and what are you studying?
Okay, so currently, I'm in University of. My name is Edmond Osayahin, and I'm currently at Montclair State University. I hope to transfer to University of Arkansas anytime soon, but I'm currently at University of Montclair State University. Sorry.
And how many universities have you been so far?
I mean, so far, how many universities have I? Let's say 3 for now.
Okay.
My initial university of Arkansas, and I think Georgia State and Montclair State. That's why I transferred from Georgia State. Yeah.
I see. What are you studying?
So currently, I'm just undertaking my PhD in clinical psychology, but I'm looking forward to transfer back, like I said, to University of Arkansas, hopefully next spring. Oh, this spring, yeah.
Yeah. Which country are you from? Obviously, we all know, but which country are you from? Which institution did you study in back in Ghana?
So I'm from Ghana, specifically from Ashanti region, Kumasi,
Right.
and that's where I was born. And for my junior high school, I went to Agape International School in Kumasi. Then for senior high school, Kumasi High, and for my undergrad, University of Ghana. Yeah, so basically, so I went to University of Ghana I completed high school in 2015. I went to University of Ghana, I think somewhere around 2017. So 2016, I completed University of Ghana in 2020. And I think.
What did you study at University of Ghana?
So I did psychology and statistics.
Okay.
And for high school, I did general arts. So
I
my
see.
combinations were, I think, government, economics, literature, and I think French. These are my combinations, yeah.
For somebody trying to sit throughout this conversation, at the end of this conversation, what are some of the things you want somebody to take out of this meeting?
I mean, I think at the end of the presentation, it's very important that I think I've said this on other platforms, that it's very important. This study abroad journey shouldn't be treated as I just saw a friend in US, so I can also apply. It should be treated as something with the mindset of you wanting to do it, and the mindset of you wanting to, ready to sit down and learn. In a nutshell, I think it's a journey that needs to be studied. It's a journey that you cannot do it anyhow and then probably get it. If you do it anyhow, you end up getting it anyhow. If you do well, you end up getting it well. So I think at the end of sharing, the Fed has actually had multiple people on this platform, and I believe each and everyone shared his journey from where he got started and how he ended up in the US. And it was a process. Yeah. So I'm believing that at the end of this presentation, whoever that is watching us is going to understand the process that we actually went through to make it happen. I always say there's a template that you have to follow. It's only up to you for you to decide that I will follow this template. And no matter your credentials, if you follow the template, it's going to work out for you. That is what I believe in. So that's what I'm hoping that whoever that's listening to us right now should be blessed to hear our stories and also follow the same person going to work out for them.
My guest is Eddie. My co-host is Ben. Ben is in the UK. Eddie is in a different state. Fred is in a different state. We are all from Ghana, just like you. And so if we have been able to do it, you should be able to do it. We are live on YouTube as the Fred Effect. We are live on TikTok as the Fred Effect, and on Facebook as well as Instagram, Twitter. We are streaming across 5 different platforms. The reason is simple. Wherever you think you're comfortable watching us from, that is where you should watch us from. So if your data says you have free data on X, we are on X. Go watch us on X over there. That's it. So to get started, you mentioned that you graduated from University of Ghana. Did you apply to a master's degree in the US or a PhD program?
I applied to a master's degree. I didn't try a PhD back home then. I just applied straight into a master's program.
I see. And if you could share with us, you mentioned that you started your study abroad process from level 200. How did you do that? How are you in level 200?
I think it's a very story. Actually, it started in level 100.
Oh wow!
But level 100, level 100 was not my US journey. It was actually in a different country. Probably I think it was in Germany. So I have this friend of mine in Canada right now. He's currently pursuing his PhD in University of Regina.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, he's called Frederick Obama.
Oh, okay.
He's a good friend of Peter Bewa.
Oh, I see.
So this friend of mine, I think we went to the same high school, and we all proceeded. He went to K University, I went to University of Ghana after completion. And I was there one day, and initially I think Kingsford used to laugh at me with this thing every day. I wanted to pursue economics, right? So I ended up not getting economics because I didn't do elective maths at University of way back in high school. So even regardless of my grade 9 from high school, I still didn't end up getting economics to do. So when I went to University of Ghana, I think it was more or less like something that I wanted to try. So when I had psychology and statistics, I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's fine. Let me do it like that. So, I mean, I wasn't really pushing myself through the program during my first year. So I was actually thinking of applying again to KNUST. Initially, I had publishing study at KNUST, but I was thinking of applying again to KNUST to see if I can have a better chance of doing economics over there. So I wasn't really pushing myself through. So, I mean, I think way down after the first semester in level 100, then this friend of mine reached out to me that, Charlie, there is this thing called study abroad that you can apply to schools and then obviously go and study. I'm like, oh, then I'm open to just share with me what you have done so far. And I think he just told me that he has applied to this school in Germany called BSVI. That's Berlin Business School of Institute. So he was like, this school is actually offering admission. And there's this school called Canada West in Canada that he said he also applied to. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So, I mean, he encouraged me to apply when you came back on vacations to Kumasi. So he encouraged me to apply and apply. And I think fast forward, within the space of like 1 or 2, 3 days, I got admission. So, I mean, I'm like, oh, I mean, I'm someone that is wandering on campus right now. I mean, thinking of stopping school to, I mean, probably do a better program. And someone introducing a school to me from abroad is really an interesting journey that I want to explore. So, I mean, I applied and I think we all had admissions, but he started with the process earlier. So he started, I mean, gathering his documents that he needed to apply for the Germany visa. And I started talking to, so I have my senior brother here in Pennsylvania. So I called him and he's one of the people that I cherish so much to the point that if you can call him to ask for $50, it's probably going to take you 10 months to get the $50. But if it's about school, he's in for it. So I called him, I'm like, oh, brother, I've actually gotten this opportunity in Germany that I think maybe I want you to look into it so that if you can explore this, I mean, this journey. And he was like, okay, cool. So, I mean, we started exploring and then at some point, it happened with my friend that he has to pay, there's something called international something that you pay, the amount that you pay in your international account that you pay, I think an amount of $10,000 at that, 10,000 euros at that time that you need to pay in order for you to get your visa approved. That money is for you, but then it's there just to secure you financially when you get to Germany. And that money was really hard at that time to get. So, I mean, I called my brother and he was like, nah, I mean, he's not willing to block account. Thank you very much, Mr. Fred. Block account. He was like, nah, I'm not willing to, I mean, I don't have that amount of money to pay. So I was really disturbed because I'm like, why can't you just pay this amount of money? And if you're back home in Ghana, you think that it's easy for someone in the US to get you that 10,000 euros. So I'm like, oh, okay. Why don't you have this? So I really got, angry then. And I was like, nah, he's not willing to help me. So at some point, I was really disturbing him. He also disturbed me. So he told me to explore schools in the US. He told me to do that for the undergrad. So I tried applying to some undergrad schools here, but it didn't yield any results because I wasn't really getting the feedback that I thought I had a very concrete offer from Germany. So why don't you give me the chance to go? So I was there at one point and I had a call from my brother that, okay, I mean, he has actually spoken to some friends and they think it's a very good initiative. So he's willing to mobilize some money to help me pay for the block. I mean, get a block account and then go. I was like, cool. This was somewhere around, I think, 2019. So I'm like, okay, cool. So, I think I was there and his friend actually came from the US and I met him, I think, somewhere around in Accra. And the friend actually studied at Princeton University. So the friend was like, why don't you just finish University of Ghana and come and do your master's? And I didn't really like the conversation because I'm like, Charlie, me, I just want to make sure I leave this country. I don't want to finish the University of Ghana and then go. Why do you have to tell me? He was like, no, you have to try master's. He came to do his master's at Princeton. So why don't you just finish University of Ghana and come and do your master's? I'm like, oh, okay. I'll look into it. So he actually ended up convincing my brother that I should stop the Germany. Meanwhile, we're in the process of gathering the money and then come and do my master's. So at that time was another bit of like, I was in another uncomfort zone that I didn't like at all. But then it came to a point where another lady also called and it was like, oh, let's try this. A lady, a friend of my brother as well. Let's try this Germany and see if it's going to work out. And there came the COVID. So when the COVID happened, Germany was the first country to block his embassy. Sorry, his a point of entry. He blocked everything. So students weren't going in, students weren't coming out. It was the first European country to do that. And I've been so mad at what they did. Because it was a blessing in disguise because I would have probably ended up being stranded in Germany if I'd taken that opportunity. So that's the point that I got exposed to study abroad in general. So way back into level 200 was when I started exploring the undergrad journey in the US. So I started applying to, I think, some schools online. Which schools? I think there's North Carolina, Pembroke. There's a school over there that I started applying to, that I started getting some scholarship. But I was fortunate to have jumped upon several videos on YouTube. I think the Freddy Fort was, a little bit low back at that time, but I think someone like Yemi Adeleko, the Nigerians were really on top within this area. And thanks to the Freddy Fort for bringing Ghana back to compete with them. So Nigerians are really on top on sharing information on Twitter and I think YouTube as well. So I started watching them to know how the study abroad process goes and stuff. So that's when I started exploring opportunities in US for undergrad, because I wanted to stop in the middle of my program at University of Ghana and come and transfer to the US. But this friend of mine that I'm talking about in Canada came back and was like, "Nah, Charlie, I think this whole undergrad journey is really going to be stressful. Why don't you finish University of Ghana, undergrad here, and then go and do a master's?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And he told me to look into schools abroad, specifically masters than undergrad. And I'm like, fine. So back then, I think as at that time, my GPA was somewhere around like 3.3 there, 3.4 there about. So like I said, I wasn't really concentrated, but I'm like, nah, let me set up. Because when I started watching the YouTube videos, I learned that you need to get a very good GPA, you need to get a very good SOP, those kind of things that, really makes your material or application very competitive. You need to learn all these things to make sure that at least you stand a better chance of getting not only admission, but funding. And I started positioning myself. And when you are transitioning into level 300 at University of Ghana, that's when you decide to do a thesis or not. So it's either you decide to combine or do a thesis, or measure to do a thesis. And I realized that if I do a thesis, it's really going to make sure that I put out a very strong application based on my research project. So initially I was thinking of combining. That's, not doing a thesis, but because of this thing that I learned from the internet, I'm like, no, let me do a thesis to make sure that it prepares me whilst I also, pursue the study abroad journey when I'm done with school. So I decided that when I got to level 3, I decided to do a thesis. So when I started doing my thesis, I'd already watched multiple videos on YouTube about study abroad and how you can leverage on your thesis to get scholarship and stuff. So just when I was thinking about developing my thesis topic, right? And I'm like, nah, why don't I reach out to professors in the US, right? To more or less like set myself on a different path. Why don't I reach out to, let's say, Freddy Fett, professor in the, let's say, University of Arkansas? And I'm like, Freddy Fett, please, I'm an undergrad student in University of Ghana. I'm about to complete a research project. I would want you to maybe suggest to me some topics that you want me to explore. And also have you as my supervisor. I was thinking at that time that if I do that whilst I'm still studying, the professor would think that I'm a very proactive student, and obviously he'll be pre-informed even before I complete and apply, So this is the mindset that I had. So I went to I think I chanced upon University of Mississippi, Ole Miss, and University of Arkansas, and I think in South Carolina University, even though I got rejected, South Carolina University. And I messaged some professors over there who were doing something related to, I think, criminal studies, right? Specifically among the youth. And I reached out to them, and at that time, the topic didn't come out from them. My thesis topic didn't come out, but it came from a friend of mine that I collaborated with back in University of Ghana. So I suggested to them that, oh, this is a topic that a friend of mine and I have actually developed, and this is what I want to work on as my project. Please, would you be interested to work with me whilst I do my project here at University of Ghana? And I sent this same email to these 3 professors from these respective schools. That's South Carolina, Ole Miss, that's University of Mississippi, and University of Arkansas at Little Rock. Then I think I was fortunate to have one professor from University of Mississippi, that's Professor Andrew Walker, reach out to me that, oh, I'm willing to speak to you, to discuss with you about your undergrad thesis, to help you if I can help supervise you whilst I was in University of Ghana. And I'm like, cool. And he told me to reach out to my University of Ghana supervisor so that they can make sure that they are on the same path, in terms of helping me to come up with this project. And I'm like, so I went to my coordinator, oh, how do you do? I'm like, yeah, I've been to reach out to a supervisor in US that is willing to help me carry out this project to make sure it's materialized. And he's looking forward to collaborate with you to make sure everything is, working out good for me. And he was like, yeah. So we had a Zoom meeting at that time. And I obviously got a green light to go ahead with that project with my assistant. My colleague. My colleague wasn't too serious because I knew what I wanted. So I want to say this, that if you are, I know for sure most of you are currently listening to that are still in school, that are doing your project that your colleagues are not really serious. Don't really take them because it's really going to benefit you, not them. So don't look at their lackadaisical attitude and be like, oh, I don't want to do it, or it's probably going to affect you anyway. Just do it by yourself. It's probably going to benefit you one way or the other. So I made sure I took this project upon myself, and I did it. And when I'm done with my first draft, I'll send it to him and send it to my supervisor, and they will review it. And I'll do my part as well. So fast forward, way back in level, way into level 400, I think I was already abreast with this whole study abroad journey. How to contact professors, how to do this, how to do that, how to even work with them hand in hand. And I was fortunate to have gotten a professor in the US that is also helping with my current undergrad project. So I think when I was completing, then I realized that, I've watched YouTube, so I know you need a recommendation letter. Dr. Amuda, one of the best YouTubers that a professor, I think he was actually a professor at US that was into public health. He used to share his experience with SOPs and stuff. So I was learning all this process even before I completed the school. So I think there was this one video on recommendation letters, right? And at some point, I'm like, okay. So when I think the final semester into completion, I started contacting professors because I knew for sure that, the student faculty ratio in Ghana, right, is very high. It's like one faculty member to, let's say, 500 or 600 students. So at the end, if you are to reach out to him for a recommendation letter, it's really going to be something very. So I accepted that there's a problem. So I needed to do something different. So one thing that I did was that I made sure that some of my friends that are on campus that are thesis, are taking their TAs. I make sure that I kept a very strong contact with them because I know for sure I'm not going to do my service as a TA. So I make sure that in case maybe I need a recommendation, I can just reach out to these colleagues of mine and reach out to the professors for me on my behalf. And even before I completed, I think my last classes, I went to the professors themselves. I think there's one professor called ABC at University of Ghana. I went to him like, said, this is a journey that I want to explore, and I think there will be a time that I will need a recommendation letter from you. So, please, I just want to inform you ahead in case that time comes to help me out with the recommendation. It was like, cool. He was, that's very good. He's so much excited that I've started exploring these areas even before I completed school. So I should just reach out, even though I reached out when I completed, but he never even go back to me. So, when I was done, and when I was done with university, I just informed the professor that I completed a project with at University of Mississippi that, I'm done with my university and I'm about to do my national service, which is a mandatory 1-year service to your nation that you are supposed to do after you're done with your bachelor's. So I'm not sure I'll be able to come. I want to finish with this mandatory service before I come to the US to study. But in the meantime, if you have any project that you are currently working on that I can work with you, I'll be very interested. This is what I told him. And he said, I have a couple of projects that I'm working on. And remember, during my undergrad thesis, I did so well that he was really impressed that at least I'm well fit for graduate school. So he was like, I have a couple of projects going on that I want you to work on with me. So he sent me a couple of projects that I was working. So whilst I was in Ghana doing my national service, I was working with it. I was helping this professor in literature review for most of his projects. So at that time, I helped me a lot, and I'm like, I cannot finish my national service before I come. So I applied, and when I applied somewhere around, I think I came in 2022. I applied somewhere around in 2021, August, September there, targeting fall of 2022.
So Eddie, it means that all this long story took place in a space of 2 years.
So in the space of let's say 2-3 years, yes. 2-3 years, as in 2 years, as in actively on campus, and a year after campus.
So that is like 3 years preparation towards your study abroad.
Yes.
So
3 years preparation. Even though my GPA was good. my transcript
Wow.
was good. But yes.
Wow. You have patience, oh.
So I mean, it's something that. So I mean, when I finished there, when I work on a couple of projects with her, and fortunately, that my current professor that I'm working with the University of Ghana, University of Arkansas, was someone that completed Arizona State University with this professor that I was working with at University of Ole Miss. So there was this project that we work on parental incarceration, right? That we collaborated with. That's this professor that I work with at University of Arkansas, right? So she also saw the kind of energy that I put in. So when I applied to only 3 universities. That's University of South Carolina, and
Eddie, sorry, before we go to that, like I want us to know what was really the motivation behind that it took you all these years just to prepare, like from level 200 and to level 400, and even afterwards, you were still eager to engage in research projects with your collaborators. What did you see? What did you hear about USA that you were motivated to?
So the motivation, first of all, has to do with the fact that I knew for sure that if I complete school, I'm not going to get a job. I'm going to end up being unemployed.
Okay, so you were looking at the local conditions back home.
Yes. I knew that I understood the struggles in Ghana, that if I complete school, the environment wouldn't support me to get employed or get anything that I want. And I knew for sure that if I complete school, the easiest way for me to be employed is to travel. Yes, I mean, it's real. People don't realize this. It's real. You know, it sounds so funny. I remember when I had my visa and I went to campus to get the Ghana GC from a friend of mine, and I saw these students close from lectures and they were coming. I was laughing. I'm like, if you're in school, you think you have everything in your pockets. You think you have all the world in your hands. But when you complete school, you see the reality. I understood this from the point when I was in school. I knew for sure the struggles that, because Charlie, come on, you. Like, yeah, it's true. Come on, your campus. So, I mean, I knew that it wasn't going to get any better when I complete school. So I knew this at first hand, and this is the time when I started that no. So if you ask of my friends on campus, like if anybody is watching me from back in this time, obviously they will know me because I'm very loud on campus. They will tell me, I always say that if I finish school, I need to travel because this environment is not really good for me. I don't think there's an environment that if you really, so it's not only a motivation from the fact that US is a very good country, not specifically US per se, but it's as a result of the realities that those currently in Ghana are going through. Imagine someone has completed university with a first class. I was there and I had a call from someone that, I should go to new sites that they are actually roofing new buildings. And how much is the person going to pay me? 500 Ghana cedis. And that will depend on the number of houses that I will count in a day that they are roofing. Imagine. So it doesn't really matter your school anymore. It doesn't matter about your grade anymore. You know, it doesn't matter whether you had a first class, second class, complete University of Ghana, UCC. It doesn't matter anymore where you come from in Ghana.
So before you continue, I just want to know. Looking at this transition from Ghana to USA, do you think your initial decision has helped?
That's really helped. It has really helped.
Let's rate it and see.
If I rate it, I don't want to rate it in the sense that fine. I think it has helped, right? And I know for sure there are those that in Ghana that are also really making it as well. Do you get me? So I just want to give them a shout out. But I from where I stand, I'm so much in love with my country that I want to go back. I always say this every day. Mr. Fred knows I say this every day. I want to go back and help, right? And but I think that a stepping stone to help me do that is traveling. And one of the reasons why I traveled, another motivation factor is that I travel specifically to come and study. I'm being honest with you. So I'm just saying I'm one of the people that obviously, if you are to tell me that if you are to give me American citizenship, I'll think twice. Because I sometimes owe some huge allegiance to where I come from. I appreciate the kind of trainings that I went through in the University of Ghana. I mean, all these things shaped me, you know, even the realities that I went through during my undergrad, during my high school, and one way or the other, it all shaped us. You get it? Yeah. That's actually shaped us to become who we want to become right now, you know. So I actually give a major credit to where we come from. So I should say that I wouldn't want to say like, oh, I'll place the US above a country where I come from, but I would like to say I realize that this would be a stepping stone for me to be a better person when I come back. Yes. I don't know if that answers the question. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So please, if you just tune in, we just want to once again wish you a happy new year. And as you are listening to the fantastic story of Eddie, you can give us a thumbs up if you are really enjoying, and then you can also let us know where you are watching us from. So as usual, this is the Freddy Fett and the biggest Eddie Abroad podcast we have in the world at the moment. So let's give us a thumbs up and then let's know where you are watching us from. So Eddie, before you continue with that story, I think I don't want to forget this. You mentioned a strategy that you used to be able to get your letter of recommendation. Can you really hammer on that strategy? Because of late, letter of recommendation has
it's a very big problem. Yes.
Yeah.
It's the major problem in Ghana right now.
Yeah.
All right. And I think the reason why it's a problem is the fact that the schools here are aware of the fact that you are very experienced and very knowledgeable to use Google or Yahoo to create your own email and have your own recommendation sent to them, which is genuinely not coming from the students, right? So as a matter of fact, they want to see that if indeed it's a genuine recommendation that should come from an institutional email. And that's what is making so many, and these institutional emails are tied to the professors and some respective administrators in schools. And that's why it's really making it very difficult for us to get recommendation letters sent. So this is what I did. So when I finished, right, way back in January, I had already gotten all the schools that I wanted to apply to. And I had my best friend, who is at the University of Iowa, was actually doing his national service. I was doing my national service at Malabuchi Hospital, right? So I had my best friend who was actually doing his national service on campus, the political science department. So he was living on campus at that time. So I made sure that I had all my schools intact. And I decided to go and apply for my schools on campus, so that when I apply, I will just hop into the professors' offices, respectively, and ask them for the recommendation letters. And I decided to ask for time from where I was doing my national service to go and spend 2 weeks on campus. So I decided to dedicate 2 weeks on campus to get my recommendation letters. This was an intentional effort.
It was intentional.
It was intentional, yes. I knew it was very difficult to get for me because my supervisor was out of the country, the one that supervised my project. But he has already accepted to do the recommendation. But I was only left with 1 or 2 to help me get it completed. So when I went on campus,
so you didn't look at that as a limitation.
No.
So but you rather took another strategy.
Yes.
So how was it like? Did you see that one to be a difficult way to go by, or that was the easiest one for you?
I should say it was the effective approach to go by, right? In a sense that I knew for sure that people were, all this time I was reading about stories about interviews, and remember I already practicing for my investor interview even before I completed school. So I already read about interviews, recommendation letters, everything that makes the study abroad journey difficult. So I developed a strategy to each and every one of them as to how I can go by it, right? So I knew that I will not. Okay, Ben is a professor. Ben has decided to send a recommendation on my behalf to University of Arkansas, let's say on Tuesday. And in the next month, I'll come and test Ben. Please, Mr. Ben, or Professor Ben, I'm applying to University of Wyoming. Can you send another recommendation? He's not going to do it. It doesn't work like that. So I knew all this kind of like, I sat down and realized what is the problem that the lecturers are facing and what is the problem that we applicants are facing, So I realized that the lecturers are not able to send recommendation, maybe probably because they don't have the time, probably because you send them recommendation today, the next day, the third day, the next month, and they cannot do it. So I made sure that I had all my schools intact. That okay, these are the schools that I'm applying to. I know for sure I'm applying to. And when I come to you, I'm giving you all the 3 schools. I have to make sure you have the links to all the 3 schools, so that if you are doing my recommendation letter, you do it once and for all. I wouldn't come again and text you, the next following month that I've seen another school that is willing to give me opportunities. Can you help me?
Okay.
I want to do that.
Okay, so if I'm to get you right, it's like after you deciding on the schools you want to apply, you did everything simultaneously.
Simultaneously, yes.
And then you went to the one that you think he can recommend you, and you said
Yes.
these are the schools I am applying to.
These are the schools
Can
I'm
you
applying
help?
to.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So
And
it's like you applied one this month, you waited for
another month,
5 months, 6 months, you did another application.
Let's say,
Oh,
for example, the
okay.
Freddie First shares some schools with free application, right? So someone will just pick that school.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're applying, you're going to need a recommendation letter. Am I lying?
Yeah.
Good. So if you're going to need a recommendation letter, then obviously you're going to test the professor. Am I lying?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, maybe you've tested that professor a long time ago, like previous months, that, oh, you had this school, right? That he sent a recommendation on your behalf. And right now, if you go back and text him again, he's a Ghanaian. Obviously, he's a human being. He might not have the time to respond to you. And remember, you test these people through WhatsApp messages. You don't even go in person. If I sit from a back, I mean, from the professor's, point of view, right? And you test me via WhatsApp message that they want a recommendation letter. Trust me, I'm not even going to reply you. I knew that. So I asked for 2 weeks from where I was doing my nationals to go on campus specifically for that reason. So when I went to campus, I made sure that I was going into the office every day. So when I go say, I've actually submitted an application to this university. I'm looking forward for you to recommend me. And I've actually attached your email to this link that I sent to you. So obviously, I'm going to see the link on my behalf. And I'll write some of them, I'll write a recommendation letter and they'll be like, oh, that's cool. You're ready. They'll write their own recommendation. Some of them to actually accepted. And by the time that I left on campus, all my recommendations were sent.
Wow.
Within the 2 weeks, all my recommendations were sent. So there's a strategy that I intentionally developed to make sure my recommendations were sent. And that is one thing that I advise, that if you're not really proactive and even if you deem yourself smart, make sure you apply your smartness, your proactiveness, your determination, everything into your study abroad journey. And that's what we want to work out for you.
Yes. So, Eddie, we may have somebody who is yet to begin this process. Mm-hmm. So the question will be, how would you expect the person to treat this study abroad process?
I think I was looking forward to, I don't know if you're edging closer to our meeting, but I was looking forward to share this information, right? That's very simple. That you wouldn't need Ben, you wouldn't need the Fed effect if you start this journey, right? I would encourage whoever that wants to start this journey to do just one thing, and everything will follow automatically. Go to YouTube, watch 10 videos of Fed effect, right? Online, 10 videos of Fed effect online. Any video about Fed effect, any video about Fed effect. 10 videos of King Fodonyina online. 10 videos of Festus online, 10 videos of Fela online. I'm not online. So 10 videos of, at least you watch, I know Fred Effect has multiple, so watch 20 videos of King Fodonyina. Fred Effect. Watch 20 videos on any topic. Just do it that intentionally. And watch 10 videos of King Fodonyina, right? On YouTube. Watch 10 videos of Fela on YouTube, right? At least spend a month to watch 10 videos 20 from the Fred Effect and 10 from the people that I've mentioned so far. And trust me, automatically you become a master of this study abroad journey. Everything else will follow. Everything else will follow.
Interesting.
Yes. So there's something that I'm challenging anyone to do it. If you don't have any idea, you will not even go and watch contact the Fred Effect. Please help me with this. He's tired. Do this for me. Right?
Yeah.
Go and do this yourself, and you become a master of your own study abroad journey. This is the easiest trick I can show anyone.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing this trick with us. So now let's come back to the programs that you applied.
Okay.
And to the schools that you applied, did you apply for the same program? And did your admission come along with scholarship? So it's a packed question.
A double question. Yeah.
So you want to know the universities you applied to, was it the same program? Yeah. Did all of them come along with scholarship?
So I applied to, I think, 3 universities in all. And the reason why I applied to these 3 universities is that these were universities that I knew for sure I was going to get funding. So
because of the emails you had already sent.
I had supervisors already and stuff. And even at a point telling that I want to finish my national service before I come.
Wow.
So yes, because I wanted to finish my national, because I didn't want to go back to Ghana and then obviously I see myself finding myself in a panel where they're asking me, did you do your national service? That's how I see myself in the future. And I want to make sure I said I did my national service. So I applied to OMES, that's University of Mississippi, University of Arkansas, Little Rock, and South Carolina University. And I got accepted to University of Arkansas at Little Rock. I got accepted to University of Mississippi, OMES, right? All of them with full funding. Because remember, the professors that I worked with, that's Dr. Andrew Walker was at University of Mississippi, and Dr. Susan was at University of Arkansas, Little Rock, right? And University of South Carolina, they denied me. I got rejected. Yes. And I reached out to them as to the reason why I got rejected. And they said, I think one of my resumes that I had in University of Ghana was a C+ in research methods during the COVID time. And that's the reason why they actually, based on that, to reject my application, even though I had a GPA of 3.6, right? 7. So it didn't really matter your GPA. There could be a grade that you have in your transcript that they think that, oh, of course, if the course is a research-based and you had a C+ in research methods, obviously they can deny your admission based on that. Wow. So that's how come I got rejected at University of South Carolina. But I think based on my issue of like proactiveness, I got accepted with, and all of my admission came with a graduate assistantship. But someone will say, why didn't you end up going to University of Mississippi? Where you had a very, friendship with the supervisor that you worked with and everything. Why didn't you go there? So I had this friend of mine on campus. He was called Henry, right? And when I was University of Arkansas was not even on my list. Trust me. So when I was deciding, I went to LinkedIn and I chanced on my Henry's profile and I saw that he was at University of Arkansas. He's someone that I know from University of Ghana. So I gave him a comment like, Charlie, I've seen your profile. I think say like you the University of Arkansas. He's like, yeah. Charlie, come here. So he convinced me initially. And I was talking to a friend of mine in Florida. So I was on the phone with, sorry to those that are in University of Mississippi, please. But I have to say it's a very funny story. That made me choose University of Arkansas over University of Mississippi, right? So I was talking to this friend of mine from junior high school. He was in Florida. And I was like, oh, you're having a normal conversation. And when I got a visa, I'm like, oh, I'm coming to the US. And he's like, where are you coming? I'm going to University of Mississippi. So when Auntie heard us over the phone, right? It was like, oh, where's your friend coming to? And he said, oh, he's going to Mississippi to go and study. And then the auntie said, Mississippi is your school. That's what he said. And that is something that actually discouraged me a lot. I'm like, nah, don't let me come to University of Arkansas. I'm not going to Mississippi anymore. So someone would say, if anybody should ask me, oh, you had this professor helping you out with your application, help you to get secure funding. And another interesting thing, right? When I was applying, the professor that I worked with at University of Ghana, right, actually wrote a recommendation on my behalf, even to his department that I was applying to. Even to his own department that I was applying to, he actually wrote a recommendation, even suggesting that he wants to work with me as a research assistant. So I think it could have been a very mere reason that I chose University of Arkansas over University of Mississippi. Maybe I would have probably felt comfortable, but I mean, it's all for the good.
When we keep on mentioning the names of the schools, if somebody is not familiar with some of these names and it confuses them, so what we do is that we try and share so that people can understand. This is the website. This is how it's being spelled. Can you take your time, walk us through the university so that I will start showing the website one after the other? What is the first?
So we can, the University of Mississippi.
Okay. I started showing Arkansas. Is this the Arkansas you're talking about, the University of Arkansas?
University of Arkansas at Little Rock, yeah.
Okay, at Little Rock.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the difference? There's University of Arkansas and then there's University of Arkansas at Little Rock. Please explain to us.
So the one at Little Rock, especially for my program in criminal psychology, is actually offered on this campus. So if you check University of Arkansas, you don't see the program of criminal psychology. But if you check Little Rock, you see the programs over there. Yes.
Okay, so there is University of Arkansas, and I'm going to show the website. Yeah, so that it makes it easier for people. But the one that Eddie is talking about, so there's this University of Arkansas. Arkansas is spelled ARKANSAS. That is one of the states in the US, and this is the website. However, the one that Eddie is talking about, you have to add at Little Rock to it. And if you can see my screen, I'm googling it in real time so that it makes it easier for you to follow. So University of Arkansas at Little Rock is different from University of Arkansas. And then the second university you mentioned,
the University of Mississippi. Yeah.
Let's see if I can Google that real quick. University of Mississippi. I was recently in Alabama, so I was a little bit closer to University of Mississippi. Mississippi is closer to Alabama. It's called Ole Miss, and
Yeah.
you know, it's a very big university. It's located in a city called
Oxford.
Oxford in Mississippi. I have a couple of friends there as well. Yeah, so this is the website of the University of Mississippi. So if you are just watching, be writing them down. These are some of the universities you can check out. Eddie, let's move on.
All right, I think so. That's one of the reasons why, Ben, if you ask, I decided to choose Little Rock because of my friend, and he actually convinced me a lot that there's a lot here that goes on compared to, even though I never go to explore University of Mississippi campus, but that's my reason for choosing University of Arkansas Little Rock over Mississippi.
Okay, so apart from these two schools, did you apply to any other
I
universities?
think the last one was University of South Carolina.
Okay, so University of South Carolina. Let's Google that real quick, of South. So if you're watching, we have North Carolina as a state and South Carolina as a state. So this is the website of the University of South Carolina. They waive application fee a lot most of the times for graduate programs. What program did you target here as well?
I think it was criminology. Yeah.
Okay, great. And then for your PhD, so these are the three universities you targeted for your master's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and for your PhD, you mentioned that you were at Georgia State University.
Yeah,
I
Georgia
recently
State.
visited. Yeah, so
Yeah.
let's share that as well. I recently visited Georgia State. Very
So for
beautiful.
the PhD, I applied to, I think, it was like 5 and I think I got accepted to. So I applied to University of Washington State University in, I think, Pullman.
Okay.
Or boom. Yeah.
We'll share that real quick. So this is the campus of Georgia State University, and my question to you after that will be that you know, based on you being here and the ideas you have, information you have about the process, obviously your application strategy when entering into the PhD after getting your first master's here, understanding the system, doing the system, is different from when you're applying from Ghana.
Yes. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Good. So I would want to find out, you know, what was the major difference applying from Ghana and applying from here. But let's share the universities first. So Georgia State University is located in the heart of Atlanta, in Georgia, obviously. Let's move on to the second university.
University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Okay, University of Wisconsin. Wisconsin is also one of the states in the US, and they have University of Wisconsin system. So University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee, that's a popular one. And then University of Wisconsin at Madison. So this is the website of the University of Wisconsin at Madison. It's located obviously in a city called Madison in the state of Wisconsin. Let's move on. There's actually University of Wisconsin in Ghana, right?
Yeah, there's University of Wisconsin in Ghana, yeah. Something
okay.
Like that.
I know your imitation of the actual Wisconsin here, right?
I can tell.
Anyway, let's move on.
All right. So I think did you check Washington State University, Pullman?
Let's move that. So is it WashU or this is different? Washington State.
No, Washington State University is in Washington, the state of Washington here.
Oh, okay. University, and then you said
yeah, I got rejected for my PhD application. But Wisconsin I got accepted. But Washington Pullman I got rejected.
What's the spelling of the Pullman?
I think it's no, the Pullman is where the city that in which it's located. So if you type Washington State University, it should automatically pop up.
Okay.
If I had it.
So Washington State University. I'm trying to show the website. There's the website, right?
Yes, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. So this is the website of Washington State University if you want to check that out. And of course, this Washington, we have Washington, D.C., which is the capital of the U.S. That's different from Washington. Washington is all the way in the west, and D.C. is all the way in the east. So very different. All right. Which other university? So we mentioned Georgia. We've mentioned Washington State. Which other university for the
Wisconsin-Madison?
Wisconsin-Madison. So we have the final two.
And Montclair State University.
Okay, Montclair. Okay, Montclair. Montclair is in New Jersey.
Yeah, New Jersey. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Montclair State University. In the city of Montclair, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah. So Montclair State University is one of the popular universities that people know because of Jay-Z is very popular. All right. And then that would be the fourth one. Do you remember the fifth one?
The fifth one, Wyoming.
University of Wyoming. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I like that school.
I got rejected as well.
Wyoming.
I just want people to know that the study abroad journey is not really all rosy for everyone.
You can be in the US and get rejected.
Yes, exactly.
Right. And sometimes this has got nothing to do with your grades or how you did.
It has nothing to do with that. No.
There are certain things you cannot control, which is absolutely fine. That's why
exactly
we encourage that people should not put their eggs in one basket. Right, you shouldn't apply to only one university. You should have a backup plan. So, Eddie, what would you say is the major difference when you're applying from Ghana versus when you're already a student here?
So the positive aspect is that you go. I mean, one of the advantages is that you don't really struggle with recommendation letters as compared to when you're in Ghana. Because obviously, they are really. I think they think that it's upon them to recommend you to other professors as well to do your PhD wherever they hold your interest at heart. I mean, especially if you want to apply to a different school, they want to make sure your recommendations are submitted in time and everything. So you don't really struggle with recommendation letter. And it also gives you an advantage because, for example, you've also had a US experience as, let's say, a master's student. So obviously, if you have a very good GPA, it could probably inform them that your GPA is coming from a place where they can attest to it. For all you know, maybe they completed the school that you are coming from. They've actually been taught by the professors that you are. You just
exactly.
So these are some of the advantages that you can get. And as to someone, let's say if you finish with your master's and you are transitioning straight to the PhD, you don't have to go back to Ghana for a visa, right? Yeah. So comparing to someone that is applying for Ghana that has to go to the visa interviews and everything, you stand a better chance of, let's say, for example, I mean, if it has to do with, let's say, giving your funding to someone else that is in, let's say, a country that is very difficult to get it. That's how come I got admitted to Georgia State. So that's why this is really important to me. I actually got accepted very late, somewhere around like June, because someone coming from Pakistan, that's according to my professor, I got rejected the offer. And they had to give it to me. Yes. So someone that coming from a visa restricted country, you stand a better chance of, getting the opportunity than someone that has to apply for the visa and has to go through some difficulty or even clearances before they come. So these are some of the benefits that you get when you're applying from the US as well. Yeah.
If you are just tuning in, this is the Study Abroad podcast with the Fred Effect team. My co-host is Ben. My name is Fred. Our guest is Eddie. Eddie has graduated from University of Ghana, has the Ghanaian higher education experience, and transitioned to study in the United States from a master's degree. And contrary to what people say, that when you graduate from your master, what should you do? He moved on to study a PhD, so you can also do the same. He's sharing his journey, his experience with us, how he went about the process, so that it makes it easier for you who want to go through similar experiences. And we are live on TikTok. If you have questions for Eddie, please put them in the comment section. We'll be responding to them. And if you want to join us live too, it's possible. We'll share the link so that you join us live in the studio and you interact with Eddie. Ben, do you want to continue from there?
All right. Oh, okay. Thank you, Eddie. So looking at all these 3 applications, how much did you pay?
For University of Arkansas, I didn't pay any application. Almost, I didn't pay any application. But I think for South Carolina, if I do remember, I pay an application, but I don't remember. It was between $30 to $50. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the one you even had graduate assistantship, you didn't pay.
Yes, I think they waived it.
Was it that they waived it for you? Did you ask for it, or it was waived automatically?
Yeah.
Did you ask for it?
No, I think it's been a while, so I think you see that either I'm not sure they asked for it though, but I think it was waived, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you're still collecting applications, it's been a while, so maybe I've forgotten. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So please, if you just join us, this is a man who was 100% sure that when he applies, he's going to get admission and funding, to the extent that he even told, I love that part. that you were even bold enough to tell them that you want to finish your national service before you come. Hey, now you have him all.
No,
so this tells us how much work you put into the whole process. So it's not like you just wanted to go and study abroad. You knew what you were up to.
So currently, I'm in touch with some couple of students at University of Ghana right now that I'm mentoring. Right, some of them are still taking their undergrad. Some of them are now done with school. That I'm mentoring to come and study here, because the psychology field is quite different. As in, it's very competitive because most of the master's program are embedded in the PhD program. So if you're applying, you have to apply directly into the PhD. So it's really making it very competitive. And it's a program that those here also wants to do it. So if you're applying from outside, it's really very difficult to get found, unless maybe you want to branch into a relatable field, like let's say criminal psychology or criminology, or that kind of stuff, like what I did. So I think it's upon me and also upon them as well to also take it as a mantle, all right, to do exactly what I did. A thesis. So this is what I'm telling them. Those that have completed doing an, I'm telling them that I'm helping them to apply for fall of 2027, not fall of 2026, because I want them to finish the national service. So if anybody's in my group that is targeting,
so that is a this model.
Yes, if anybody's in my group that wants to apply for this fall 2026, you are not part. I want you to finish your national service before you come. Yes.
Okay, so you mentioned something that the study abroad has a template that you're able to follow. You're going to be successful. Can you throw more light on that? What do you mean by that?
The template is one, making a conscious effort, right? And that's one of the templates. And realizing that regardless of your credentials, you still need to put in the work.
Eddie, I'm coming. Please, you can be typing some of the strategies Eddie is sharing on the comment box for us if you are really listening. Eddie, you said the first template is what?
One is a conscious effort.
Very good. Conscious effort. Let's go.
Yes. And study abroad needs to be studied. It needs to be treated as a full-time job. And spend every minute of your day. Spend every minute of your leisure hour. For example, if you are working and you use your leisure hours to watch movies, spend that leisure hours, right, or leisure period that you have to watch content about study abroad. And also make sure that you ask questions a lot. Every time you ask questions, you are asking questions every time. These are things that I would say probably abstract, right? The things that another template is that make sure you have the materials to do so. You can never pursue this dream if you don't have a bachelor's. Sorry, you can never pursue a master's degree if you don't have a bachelor's. You can never pursue your undergrad degree if you have not completed high school, or you don't have your high school certificate or high school transcript. It doesn't work like that. You cannot sit somewhere and say that, oh, I'm a real JHS and Madam for to quarantine. I can also travel. It doesn't work like that. Make sure you have the materials to do so. And the next thing has to do with make sure you have the capacity to do so. There's one thing that people refuse to admit: the financial capacity. It's really important. The financial capacity is like, make sure that at the end of the day, if they are calling you to pay for application fee, you are ready to pay. If you are calling you to pay for the visa application fee, you are ready to pay. Because trust me, you can apply to schools. You know, sometimes this is what people refuse that it's really, saddens me a lot, right? It's good to, I say, free application schools are good to apply because for all you know, the school that you're applying for free is the one that's going to give you the funding. Do you get me? But then in this case, you can also chance upon the school that, for sure, you've gotten a very positive feedback from a professor to apply, or the green light for a professor to apply. But then it demands you to pay application fee, but you don't have the money. You know, so it can actually hinder one way your application or your progress one way or the other. So you have to have the financial capacity to do so. If you do these three things, these are the three templates that I think you can follow. If you do these three things, I think your journey will be successful.
Wow. Thank you so much. So, Eddie, with the confidence within which you used to approach the application, was that the same confidence you used for the visa interview preparation?
I think the very first I've heard of this story. So, I've told this on TikTok Live several times, right? I started practicing for my visa interview when I was about to complete my undergrad. Because I knew, yes.
But then you had not put in application.
Yes. I was. You can, and anybody that happens to be my roommate at Commonwealth, right, will tell you. My room, if Richard is here or any of my roommates are here, they will tell you. I'll practice with them. So I'll let them ask me the questions. You know, there was this one time that there was this friend of a friend, I don't want a distance friend, right, that completed UCC. So he had his visa and he came to sleep in our room at that time because a flight was the next day. So he had some friends on Commonwealth campus. So he came to sleep there in my room, right? And he was telling us about the visa interview and stuff. So that's when I started learning about it. He was actually coming to our university. So that's when I started learning about the, visa interview. Even when I was in University of Ghana campus. That's the reason why. Because when he came, he was telling us how he went for the interview and it went well and stuff, you know. So I started asking him questions. Oh, what were some of the questions that they asked you? At that time, I was still in school doing my thesis. So that's when I started preparing for my visa interview way back on campus. So that's how come, yeah.
Oh,
so
okay.
some of the questions that I remember, so funny, you know, I've lost that book. So, I used to say, my brother lives in New Jersey. There was a school at Monmouth, right? Monmouth University in New Jersey. So I'm like, my brother lives in New Jersey and his house is closer to Monmouth University. So when I go to the US, I'll stay in his house and I'll go to school. And, you know, I was answering questions like that, not knowing that even if you have a relative in the US, it can probably one way affect your application. Sorry, affect your visa interview, whether being positive or negative, right? So I didn't know all these things. But then I was actually pretty informed. I was watching videos about, there was this Nigerian guy, I've forgotten his name, that shared a visa interview experience as well. But when I also completed, that was when Kingsford has also started his YouTube channel, interviewing Ghanaians who went for their interview. I'm like, for now we have a Ghanaian who's also helping us in that regard. So there's shout out to Kingsford, right? There was a story that he shared about his an appointment letter that I think he was late, something like that. That he had a letter from his department. That of course they are aware that he might be coming in late compared to the initial reopening date, right? So that actually I also fell a victim to this same incident. So watching that video helped me a lot. So I also made sure I collected that same. I think was it something like I've forgotten that how they call that letter. I collected the same letter from my department and I sent by even though they didn't even care to ask. So I started watching YouTube videos on visa questions and some of the things that they will ask you, obviously. And I read, you know, anybody who has studied abroad, the very fact can attest to this, right? For a very long time, can attest to the fact that at first at Accra Embassy, right, it was really hot. And that even if you have a deficit of 2,000, you have to explain a lot. So I wanted to make sure that I don't have any deficits at all. Because I didn't want a question of, can I see your bank statement? Can I see this? Can I see that? So I put in the work and I practiced for every bit of question that I would have been asked at that time. I was thinking that they will know for sure, that they will know automatically that I have a relative that are here. They will know automatically that I have plans to maybe, you know, do my master's do my PhD after my master's. So I was practicing for every bit of the questions that might probably or potentially come up when I go there. So that's how come I started preparing. So when I went for my interview, it was pretty simple because I knew that I've ticked all the boxes. I was never nervous. I was not even pressured at any point in my during the process at all, because I knew for sure that I've ticked all the boxes in terms of like securing funding, answering any question that has to do with how I secured my funding, why I chose this university, why I decided to go to study this program, what are my plans coming back. So I knew for sure that I'm gonna get a visa, and obviously God being so good, I got my visa approved. Yeah.
Wow. So how did you feel?
I mean, I thought securing the visa is not one of my happiest moments. It could be, but it's not my most happiest moment, no. Because my most happiest moment was when I should say in this study abroad journey was when I should say I came to the realization that I need to better myself whilst I'm still in school. That's my most happiest. That's when I had a realization that I need to put up a very good work to end up getting a fully funded. So when I secured my funding was when I realized that sure, my work has actually yielded results. So the visa, securing the visa was more or less like a cherry on top of the cake.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Interesting. So, what is one myth that you've heard about the visa interview that you think is not true?
That you have to, I mean, I'm very diabolic. I'm very diabolic that you have to pray. I mean, I mean, personally, that the visa approval depends on luck. I don't think it's by luck. I don't think it's by luck. I've seen people sharing stories that when you go into the embassy, you have to pray. During I expect you to pay attention to those that are getting interviewed, the questions that they are being asked, than you praying. I don't think that works. I don't think that works. And another myth is that what other myth have I heard? What other myth do you think you've heard that I can also ask you if you've heard that? Can you help me?
Okay, I think from what you were just saying, you know, when we started this whole process, it's
another myth is that it's not study abroad is not meant for the rich.
Oh, okay.
It's not meant for the rich. It's meant it's meant for the rich, and it's also meant for the poor. Let me say it that way, right? Everyone can apply.
Oh, okay.
You know, when you're coming from a very good home, I think it should be an advantage for you, right? For you to apply to more schools. But it shouldn't serve as a means for you to relax. I don't know whether you have my point. Because
you're on point.
Yes, because for sure, the advantages or the benefit that you get from the professors is merit-based. If I say merit-based, based on the fact that they see you are deemed fit for those opportunities like assistantship, right? And so if you are coming from a very rich home and you can afford all the schools in the US, and at the end of the day, you are not academically qualified or academically satisfied, of course, you definitely not end up studying in the US. So in this case, if you are coming from a very moderate home, right, and you have the little financial backup, and you're academically good and willing to apply your academic knowledge to this, you end up getting the opportunities as well. So it works for everyone. It's not whether you find yourself in Bole Bamboy, you find yourself in Accra City, you find yourself in Accra City, Accra, Villaggio, or wherever, you can apply and come and study in the US. So that's one.
You don't have to only be in Tema before you can study abroad.
As long as you are determined and you can take bus, work in the dust, day in, day out, I mean, you are likely to get it funded. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, one thing I had also, I think it's still in my mind that you touch on it was that when you go for the visa interview and they ask you, do you know anyone in the US? Say no. How true is it?
Good, and that's it's a very extensive conversation, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to that. So I remember I was watching this interview some time ago, way back, and there was this interview done by an Indian guy, and he was actually teaching people or educating people on how to answer these type of questions. That in case, let's say, you indicate in your application anywhere that you have a relative in it, how do you go by answer? So, I have a relative, admit it because you've already admitted in your document. And there was a question that, okay, what if, for example, so there was a point where they were, in case, let's say you live with your, I don't know, but you live with your uncle, right? And you live with him by the school outside, right? And they ask you, okay, in case your uncle wants you to work in the US, what are you going to do? Would you want to work if your uncle asks you to? And I think the perfect answer to this question was the fact that, of course, I mean, my uncle is well educated, right? And see the essence of academic dedication. And I don't think he has any plans of making me work whilst I'm in the US. And also, I'm fully dedicated to commit myself to the school that I'm going to, not going to work, you know? So if I answer you this way, I think, Ben, even if you are the visa officer, obviously I'm telling the truth, but I'm giving a valid reason to study as well.
Okay.
So even in this case, I have a relative in the US. I've actually debunked the story that, of course, you can have a relative in the US and still make up a point to come and study, right? Okay. Because, of course, maybe for all you know, he's the one paying for your tuition. He's the one sponsoring you the bank statement, you know, so you have no other option than to indicate this person in your application process. So definitely you have to mention the person's name in your application. And obviously you might be tempted to ask a question about it, but have a valid reason to study over him. I mean, maybe sponsoring you alone, you know. or the only reason why he's sponsoring you to come there is to come and study. That's what I'm talking about. Do you get it? So that's how come you can state or can have a relative in the US and still have invalid in your application process. But another thing is that if, let's say, someone has filed for you before, right? You've had someone file for you on, let's say, a green card visa, or on any of the green card aside a non-migrant visa, right? And you end up getting your application denied or still in the process, and you go to the embassy and they ask you that you have a relative in the US. Obviously, you've already indicated an immigrant intent through your previous sponsorship or your current sponsorship. So there's a likely denial, or there's a high chance they're going to deny you. Because I've had instances whereby I helped a lady who is currently at Arizona State University. Previously, he went and they filed for her, right? And she never told me. So she went and then they got her visa denied because the visa officer told her that he's still in the process that she has been filed for, and needs to go back and wait till the decision is done. This is how come she got her visa denied, even though she was coming to do a master's. So I think fast forward, her application went through, that means her immigrant application went through somewhere around like 2021. And even though, remember, he had the intent to study. Right now he's at Arizona State University. But then she was denied previously.
Oh, okay.
You know, so there's the dynamics of how it works. So there's a part that having a relative in the US can help you secure a visa. There's a part that it can also, help you, in any way, get your visa denied.
It all depends on your storyline.
It depends on where you're coming from.
Oh, okay.
The storyline, where you're coming from. Yes.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much. So we would like to know, those of us who wants to come to the US, how is it like to study and live in the US? Based on your experience.
I think, okay, so this relative question, this experience is relative, right? Yeah. We all have our own way or the other. One of the easiest way to make your living very comfortable is that I'm always in support of people that actually wants to make sure that they end up getting the best out of their application process before they end up here. For example, getting full funding or getting a considerable funding. A considerable funding means chunk of the financial burden is being taken from you. You know, so let's say they've given you a teaching waiver. They've actually paying some, maybe you pay like 4,000, 6,000 a semester, 5,000 a semester, which is equally good, right? Even if you want to apply for loan, fine. I can advise that, right? So I think people, if you really want to end a very better life here, try and make sure you get some sort of considerable funding. It could be in the form of loan, assistantship, or anything but for you to work and at the same time study is really a very difficult thing to do. It's not an easy thing. And in the US, you don't pluck money on trees. It doesn't work like that.
I think you have to hint that area, that point again, bro.
Yeah, you don't pluck money on trees. So, and when you're back home in Ghana, you think a white man can never be poor. But a white man can be really poor than you. That is living in Ghana right now. So it's not all rosy like the way life really seems out there. And if you have to talk about the experience as an international student, remember, I've actually went through the transition of 3 schools within the space of 3 months right now. All because of the fact that part of the reason has to do with financial miscommunication, right? So if you're not really that experienced like me, or let's say someone really knows the process, maybe your transition would have been really difficult for you to end up being out of status. So we want to, the story that the nitty-gritties that goes on here, right, is really not what you guys see out there. So in order for you to save yourself from all these dramas, the financial stress, especially the academic stress is, I think one of the most rigorous academic system that you have is what Ghana is preview to right now. In Ghana, you can do 8 courses in high school. Yeah, it's not like that. In Ghana, you can do like 7, 15, 20 credit hours when you're in University of Ghana or when you're in tertiary. Yeah, it's not like that. And the kind of exams that you pass through, the system and everything is really, really difficult for you to, especially come out from University of Ghana or UCC. UCC as an example. UCC tests are quizzes are, but here the system is very, very, moderate a bit. We're able to see it as very easy because of where we are coming, where we had our training from. So academically, you can survive. But financially, It's not compared to anywhere where we come from. You know, financially, you have really put in a lot, especially if you don't have funding. Charlie, it's very difficult. So if you are listening to us right now, try and make sure that financially you are secured, and it will really help you a lot, because we had several students who are, I mean, if you've seen stories of students sharing how they might probably end up getting expelled from their schools because they cannot pay their tuition, you know. So make sure you have a plan for that. So that's how I think that's my experience of how the journey in the US has been for me. It's somehow rosy, especially if your stipend comes in monthly, it's rosy. Hey, if you get that, it's really helping. If you can pay your rent, if you can pay your debt, it's well rosy. It's very good. It's one of the easiest way to survive in the US is coming in as an international student. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. So so far, is there any shock you have experienced?
Where I'm coming from, or the professors that we have really good professors at University of Ghana, right? But they are, the mode of teaching and the mode of teaching here is different. You know, University of Ghana, professors treat you as faculty student. It's a faculty student relationship or lecturer student relationship. But here it's colleague to colleague relationship. I don't know whether I get my point.
Yeah.
So University of Ghana, the professors see you as they see you as their students, right? But here they see you as a colleague.
Wow.
So that's how come here you can get a question wrong, but he will tell you that, oh, that could be another answer. But I think that another way could be this. He wants to make sure that you, even though you are wrong, but he doesn't want to tell you are wrong. But he wants to tell you that, oh, your opinion or your suggestion is right. But I think this is how best you can do it. You know, here, he also wants to throw a question back to you. So you can ask a professor, what is the meaning of, let's say, psychology? The professor can ask you, what do you think it is? How do you suggest we go about the integration of AI in academic research? Edmond, how do you think you go about that? He wants your opinion, because your opinion, at the end of the day, if it matters, that's valid. That's all. So they treat you as a colleague to colleague relationship, compared to Ghana, where it's faculty or lecturer student relationship. That's the shock that I had. So I remember the first lecture I had a professor buying pizza, you know, to share. I was there and the pizza came and I had my portion. I'm like, this is an experience that you never get from where you're coming from. That makes you feel somehow comfortable, you know. So I think this is one of the shocks that I think a positive shock that I had as well. And I think aside that, you know, every little bit of shocks that I had might probably be due to the adjustment that you face as an international student. You will still be adjusting regardless of how long you came. You'll still be adjusting to this whole American system. So everything might seem as a shock to you, but it's not always a shock. So let me say it that way. Yeah.
So is it all that glass and coin?
It's glass and coin. Let me say it's glass and coin, you know. There are some areas, if you live in Accra, let's say places like East Legon, you know, Trasacco, Accra residential, airport residential stuff. Obviously, you might be privy to. There are very good sceneries in Ghana as well, you know. I mean, there's I went to this if you live in a place like Newark, you know, if you live in a place like Newark, you can tell that you would appreciate where you come from. I'm being honest with you. But I went to Iowa, one of the beautiful places I've ever visited. Very clean, you know. Every state or wherever country has its bad and positive side. It depends on what you are up to. I don't know where you get my point. So there could be glass and coin, but let me be honest with you guys, right? My problem has to do with the kind of environment I've seen Ghanaians find themselves, especially someone that has completed school. The environment is not really conducive for people that have completed universities as in employment. You know, the environment is not really helping some of my friends out there. And that's my worry, right? And I think that the best opportunity for you is to come here and study.
Eddie,
that is.
can you re-echo this part for me? Take
Yes,
your time.
I mean, it's true because it's so
Yes.
sad, it's so sad that people have completed school with right now, we can't differentiate those that have completed school and those that didn't go to school at all. And
In
even
Ghana,
those that
in
didn't
Ghana,
go to school
right?
are even, yes, those that didn't go to school are even laughing at those that have completed school. Because imagine you come home and you are all eating from your dad's pocket. You come home and then your friends are laughing at you. What is the essence of you going to the University of Ghana to study? What is the essence of you going to UCC to study? If you end up getting unemployed, if you end up asking money from them, so the environment is not really conducive for people that have actually completed school at all. You see, so I'm just saying that one of the easiest way that you can leverage your first class, your transcript, your experiences during your national service is for you to apply to schools and come and study here. Try it at least. That's the best way to try that. If you are trying applying to jobs, try applying to come study abroad as well.
Interesting.
And I think it's a decision that you never regret. I know this offhand before I completed school, so it helped me. Because I knew I'll definitely end up getting unemployed when I complete school. And I don't want to face that. So if you are someone that, it could be US, it could be Canada, it could be Europe, it could be anywhere or any part in the world. As long as I know for sure that the environment in Ghana doesn't absorb graduate students, please try and explore opportunities elsewhere. That's my advice for those that are home right now.
Okay. Try opportunity elsewhere. That's a very nice presentation from our own brother Eddie. Please, at this point in time, we can take your questions. So you can drop your questions in the box, and those who wants to join live too, you may be permitted to join us live, so that any questions that you have for Eddie, you can drop it in. So Eddie, let me see if we can take some of the questions.
Mm-hmm.
So it says that I have interest in PhD in criminology and criminal justice. I have B.Ed management, LLB, and MPA, all from Ghana. A GRE score of 330. Do I have a chance, or other things being equal?
So he's interested in a PhD in criminal justice.
Yes.
He had a BEd in management, LB. He's a very solid applicant, right?
Okay.
A very solid applicant. I don't know where he's speaking from, but he's a very solid applicant that I think he would stand a very high chance of getting a fully funded scholarship into any PhD program of any school of his choice. I don't know for his undergraduate GPA, but he needs not to disclose it here. But with a GRE score of 330 and with an LLB, because I have a friend of mine, Joy Ferdinand, who did LLB in Nigeria, that I fully funded PhD here. So obviously, it's not a very high chance. And it's a field that, like I said, a lot of people don't really explore, especially when they're applying from Ghana. So you having this qualification, trust me, the best way is that you stand a very high chance. You can reach out to me via email at edmondosai.55.44@gmail.com. Someone like this, I think, if you have a good, you deserve my help. I'll help you out. So you can just reach out.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting one. So please, can you mention the Gmail again so that I can put in the comment box?
Edmond Osei, that's EDMOND Osei, OSEI.
Edmond Osei.
Yeah, .5544@gmail.com.
At gmail.com. Okay. Edmond S. Osei .5544@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Okay, so please, I'm sharing his Gmail into the comment box so you can save it, and if you need assistance, you can reach out to him.
For the GRE and your LLB, I think you are a solid applicant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a very solid applicant.
Interesting. So, Eddie, if you had not studied abroad, what would have happened to you?
Yeah, so if I had not studied in abroad, obviously I would have probably ended up being a high school teacher.
Oh,
That was
okay.
so I had 3 plans. If study abroad didn't work, he said I would have gone to Dubai to get a startup. Or obviously because I had a friend of mine in Dubai, so I was exploring that as well. And to get a startup. And the next thing is that I would have probably gotten an opportunity to teach in high school. These were the 3 things that I was exploring. I'm saying this because I mean I'm not messing with words because these are the things that I had planned out. You know, it's not just coming out of my mind or anything else. So, but then if study abroad don't work out, study abroad will work out. Please. If it doesn't work out, it will still work out.
Oh,
And
okay.
I want you to have that mindset.
Oh,
it's really
okay.
good because I mean it's something of a very major concern to me. I don't know why people don't see that. Maybe people are comfortable eating from their mom's pockets even after school or their dad's pocket even after school. That's fine. Kudos to them. But someone like myself, I didn't see that happen to me. And I hope that you take that advantage. You need the Fred effect. The Fred effect is always online. TikTok, especially, right? That is open to, but I'm wondering why someone can come into your DM and be like, please, can I get in touch with the Fred effect? I cannot reach him because, but aside that, he has actually put every information out there for you on his YouTube channel, and I don't know why you will probably end up with so much time on other things that are not really relevant, and then come and complain again. All the information out there that I'm sharing here is on YouTube. I didn't just learn this by magic, I watched videos and I applied the things that I've learned on from watching these videos. So go online, watch, like I said, watch every video that you chance upon about Fred, watch every video, watch every single video. And trust me, you will not need him to help you out. The only time that you need him is, oh, Mr. Friend, can you book my ticket for me? And then he can help you out with that. So, I don't know if Ben, you have some YouTube channels too. Just take advantage of that. Take advantage of this.
For now, my YouTube channel is still the Fred Effect. My Facebook is still the Fred Effect.
Yeah, Kings for Onina, Fila GHTV, Festus. These are guys that are doing very wonderful job, on YouTube. Go and watch them. And trust me, if you do that for just 1 month, right? For just 1 month, I can tell you that by next year you be in the US or you be in Canada or any country of your dream. This is a template that works for everyone. I don't know why you guys don't want to take advantage of that.
So from the way you are talking, it's like there are some opportunities you are not talking about it too. Because the way you are very optimistic about we coming, what are the opportunities in there that when we come, you think life is going to be better for us?
Opportunities that I never dreamt of buying a car when I was in the University of Ghana. But when I came here, at least I drive a car. Yes. Another opportunity is that the iPhone that you have been asking your boyfriend about, the iPhone that you have been struggling to buy for your girlfriend, is something very easy to buy. Every international student can attest to that here. So you can buy that iPhone. Another opportunity is that, very important to me, right? I think when you talk about the fact that America is the land of opportunities, right? This is how I see it. When I completed high school, I wanted to pursue economics at University of Ghana. Imagine, with a grade 9, I didn't do elective maths, so I didn't end up getting economics at University of Ghana. So it means my dream of becoming, because even before I completed high school, I was reading the news, right? I used to watch the news. I used to take all the parliamentarians, right? The school that they completed. And as someone that I'll go into politics one way. So I want to have a trajectory as to how they can become well-known politicians in Ghana. And every one of them that I was reading at that time completed University of Ghana with economics. So that's why I was so much bent on studying economics at University of Ghana. But then I didn't end up pursuing economics at University of Ghana because I didn't do elective maths. Did you get me? But if I was in this country, maybe things would have been different. Because here, they want to give it to you. Do it if you can. So that's how someone can pursue a bachelor's degree in psychology, but can end up doing, let's say, cybersecurity. Someone can do study. So if you have a dream, right? If you have a career path that you cherish so much that you think the country that you find yourself right now is killing it, when you find yourself or relocate yourself, you can actually actualize that dream. That's the one. So an example is that currently, let's say if I'm pursuing information science, right? And let's say I want to do cybersecurity, I want to do anything of crime investigation, I want to go into the tech aspect. I don't think the country that I find myself, the country called Ghana right now, can help me, that I love so much, can help me do that. Because of the curriculums that we have in our universities. Okay. But here, the curriculums allows you to materialize those dreams. So these are the benefits. This is what I call land of opportunity. This is how I see it. It makes you pursue the career that you want. Imagine, even if you don't have the money, you can go for a loan. But imagine if you're going to the University of Ghana and let's say you don't have the financial backup, do you have any loans to apply to that you can help you sustain you so you complete school? I don't think so. Even if the risk is limited. Okay. But here, they also have the resources to help you get your dream materialized.
All right.
If your class is too far from where you live, you have a car that you can drive to make sure you buy it. If you want a food to eat, the materials are there to support you to eat, to be able to become certified international student. You don't wake up thinking about food, because right now, someone is in Ghana right now thinking of what to eat as we speak right now. You know, I used to spend 5 cedis a day when I was in the University of Ghana. I'm being honest with you. So I wait till like 2 p.m. to make sure I buy a food that will actually, and I used to befriend those that were selling food. So that if I don't have food, I'll go to Mascom and I'll be like, hey, Charlie, and the musical, you know, I understand the struggles that some of our friends are going through. And I want you to realize that there's a bigger picture based on the materials that you have, if only you are willing to exploit these opportunities, you know. So that's what I can put out there. These are the opportunities that you see when you come here. You don't worry about anger anymore.
Interesting.
You don't worry about getting your dream materialized. You get all these things materialized as well. So Charlie,
thank you.
That's what I have to offer to you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing this with us. So US is a land of opportunities. So if you want opportunities in your life, go to US. That is from Eddie. So please, let's pick this question. He says that, please, what are some of the questions you were asked during your PhD interview?
So that I didn't really get a PhD interview from what I applied, but the likely questions that obviously maybe you'll be asked, I think prior to submitting my application, I reached out to a couple of professors, right? And you want to sell yourself to them in your the research that you've done. So if you have some publications, so for example, maybe I have some publications. So let's say I've actually published work within these areas, right? And I really want to explore more, you know. So I see you fit to be my supervisor. So it's more or less like you projecting yourself as a potential research, material, right? That the professor can also capitalize on you to also get his research activities, carried on or go on or moving forward, right? So if you're interested in machine learning, you can reach out to professors that are into machine learning, right? And they can set up a Zoom meeting with you and discuss with you your interests as well. One of the most important things, whether being interviewed or not getting an interview, please make sure you hold a very solid interest when you're applying for a PhD compared to masters. They are two different things. You cannot apply to a PhD without any solid research interest. It doesn't work like that. You know, you have to have a very solid research interest, unless in other fields like math or less statistics, whereby you have to have a very solid GPA, even if you don't have a very solid research interest, you know, or a very solid skills. But if you're applying into a research program, research-based program, obviously you need to have a very strong research interest, not just, anyhow, you know, not just waking up and saying that, oh, I'm interested in it, but have a reason, have something that you've actually done previously that is informing you to research more about going into a PhD. And I think that will work out for you. Yeah.
Interesting. So let's take this one from Black. That's my boy. He says, who must be the owner of bank statement, yourself or family member, or how much do you need to budget respectively? So I think he's also trying to get all his questions right before he starts. So if we can help him out.
About bank statement.
Yeah.
So what is the the output of his question?
So you want to know who must own a bank statement, yourself or a family member?
It depends. It depends. So, for example, I remember in 2023, I helped this high school student from St. Louis High School, right? And I think there were 5 of them. And God willing, God being so good, they all went for their visa interview and got their visa approved. And one of the strategies that I developed to help them was that I made sure that the bank statement is coming from their biological fathers, in a sense that you're coming to study an undergrad program, and I know for sure that someone that would probably would be willing to see you through the 4-year journey period is someone that's willing to commit as a father. So that means having a biological father sponsoring you is very good. But aside that, you can also have your own personal bank statement to support it, right? If let's say you're coming to study master's program, you have your uncle or your father, your mom sponsoring you, you think you have a bank statement to support you in terms of your living expenses, that is also fine. It depends. Like I said, you can have your family as a sponsor and your dad as a sponsor, yourself as a sponsor. But there's something called primary and secondary sponsors, right? Primary sponsors are people that will sponsor you or unquestionably, right? So, for example, and those people that are deemed fit to be in this category, that's the primary sponsors, are your biological parents. So they are the ones that they can go down the air or the drain to sponsor you, right? So, for example, if I come to Ben is the visa officer, and I tell Ben that Ben, my mom or my biological father is the one sponsoring me. Ben will never ask me that why is my biological father sponsoring me, because it's my biological father. But for like some way, if I go to Ben and say my uncle is the one sponsoring me, right? Obviously, then that's a secondary sponsor. A secondary sponsor means the person might probably have an immediate dependent upon himself that they might prioritize above you. Of course, might make their financial capacity questionable. So let's say if I'm your uncle, I might have my own case that I want to sponsor. So if Ben is the office officer, Ben would want to know why he is actually more or less not ignoring, but has chose to sponsor you above the other dependents that he has, So you want to know why your uncle is sponsoring you. So in this case, you should be ready to answer questions like that, because I think even before I tackled my visa officer myself, the guy that was in front of me was asked. He said my uncle is the one sponsoring me, and he said, "What type of uncle is he to you?" So in this case, bringing back to the question that whether it's your maternal uncle or paternal, and the interest here is that why is someone who is not your biological father willing to pay this amount of money to see you through your journey in the US or in Canada? So these are areas that you should probably prepare yourself for when you are using the bank statement, whether from a biological father standpoint or an uncle standpoint, or yourself as well.
Oh, that's an interesting one. Thank you so much. Let me see if we still have some questions for you. Okay, this is from Ken Solo. He's saying that thank you, Eddie, for the information. My question is, can you talk about your PhD journey? Why are you transferring schools? Did you also started your PhD application whilst doing your master's?
Yeah, so I think I shared this story yesterday. So when I finished with the University of Arkansas, right, for my master's, I got accepted here for the PhD, right? And I got accepted to University of Wisconsin-Madison for a PhD in psychology, and Montclair State for a PhD in psychology as well. And Georgia State, I applied for a PhD in data science. That's data science and human behavior, right? And I decided to stay here initially because I think I was only left to do just a dissertation and I think two or three coursework to have my PhD completed. But then I'm in a field where I said I wanted something more challenging, something more quantifiable and more of the theory and then research. So I wanted to explore. But then the reason why I decided to ignore this Wisconsin-Madison was that I was going to do another master and go to another master's again. So I was going to complete in a period of 6 years, which I'm like, nah, I'm not willing to go to that 6-year period. The same thing applies to Montclair State University as well. So when Georgia State University came, it was a bit different because in this case, it was more or less like a quantifiable, program, right? Data science and human behavior. That I think that it's a field where I wanted to enter into the tech and human behavior aspect. So the field I wanted to explore, that's how I can. But the program itself was premium pricing program. Premium pricing program means that even you see normally when you receive an assistantship, right, it covers your tuition, and it waives off your tuition and pay your living expenses, right, through a stipend. But when it's a premium pricing program and you're coming from you are coming in as an international student, you pay for the differential tuition. So in this case, even if you get awarded a scholarship or a externship, you still pay for the differential tuition as an international student, since it's a premium pricing program. And that's one thing I want people to take care of when they're applying. I didn't know this. Until I fell into the trap, right? So when I went to Georgia State, I think part of the reason was that I just saw the differential tuition was very huge for me to pay, So I had to transfer, not knowing that I still had my admission from Montclair State still hold it, So I'm like, I was not ready to pay the 5,000 a semester. I didn't have that amount of money to pay, so I had to transfer to Montclair State. That's how come I transferred from Georgia State to Montclair State as well. So if the one that's asking, that's the question right now. But Montclair State, I remember I said one of the reasons I want to I'm transferring back is that here I'm not willing to spend a 6-year period here, because it's a 6 years program, and I think someone that I'm already done with masters, I would probably go to a place that I'll finish within 3 years plus my masters, than to go to another 6-year period, which is something too long for me. That's how I want to transfer back to my old school.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a nice one. And I'm sure whoever asked this question is well answered.
Yeah, it's well answered.
Yes. Bora, you want to join us? Can you unmute yourself and on your camera? Bora, can you?
Hello, sir. I actually have a problem with my camera.
All right, so let's go.
So I wanted to ask a question.
Okay.
So, by the grace of God, I have been, granted an admission to Minnesota University, and then a graduate teaching assistantship has been awarded onto me. But my question now is that the graduate teaching assistantship waivers my entire tuition, and an annual stipend will also be paid. But I have a deficit.
Bora,
yeah,
please take your time and talk. Right? It looks like you're putting things together. It's the graduate teaching assistantship waives. It doesn't waiver. So take your time.
Okay.
Your time.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. We are listening.
So it waives my entire tuition, and then an annual stipend will be paid. But I have a deficit of, I think, $10,127 US. And I want to find out, is it a very good offer to pick up? Because I have additional 2 schools that I'm pending on. But currently, looking at how the visa process is happening in Ghana, I just wanted to, find out if it's a good offer that I can jump on, looking at the deficit.
Eddie will come in, and then maybe if I have something to add. Eddie, I don't know if you want to go ahead.
First of all, congrats. These are one of the hard to come by opportunities that you've gotten right now, So congrats on your admission and your funding. 10,000. So let me get this question right. So the assistantship that you have can be disbursed in 2 ways right now, right? One that goes towards your tuition, and the stipend that you're getting under the month. So that is it stated in your letter that it waives off your tuition 100%?
Yes, my entire tuition.
Yes, good. So one of the things that I've actually had that I think I want to share with you is that, I think that if you have your tuition waived, that is enough. So I don't want you to see this offer as a less offer at all. It's a very good offer that you have. And if I'm you, I'll be booking for my interview right now, right? Because then you have to make a statement that, of course, you have a deficit of 10,000, which I think has to do with your living expenses, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, you have to get a very strong bank statement that at least you can show for that it covers your $10,000 scholarship, okay? And then when you go, make sure that wherever that you find yourself being answered that question, tell them that, being asked that question, tell them that, you've gotten a assistantship that actually waives off your tuition 100%, right? And I don't know, there's giving you a monthly stipend. How much are you getting for a stipend? Since you don't have to say it, but that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can say it.
Okay, sure.
So they are going to pay. They are going to pay 10,000 for a year. So they are paying 5,000 for the first semester, and then 5,000 for the second semester.
Yes. So you can articulate the fact that you also have a $10,000 assistantship, right, for a year. That helps you, cater for your living expenses. Other miscellaneous expenses that is coming from you as an international student, that's international student fees, will be catered for by your that's your deficit that you have that you'll be catered for by your parents. So I'm just saying this because I don't want you to see this as a bad offer at all. It's one of the best schools, University of Minnesota, the best schools, and you've gotten the best offer that you ever get in the study abroad journey. So if I'm you, I'll try and then I know sometimes, Fred, when there's this little deficit, they're a little bit skeptical about, even if it's one person, they're still skeptical about it, right? So 10,000 is quite cool. Your offer, the offer or the package that you have weighs off the disadvantage that comes with the deficit right now.
Okay.
So you can make a very good case. So never be afraid. Go for your interview. I'm sure you get approved, especially with the university that you're going as well.
Okay, then please, the last question. Okay, so
I think Fred wants to come in.
Have you gotten your I-20?
No, for the fact that I just wanted to clear my thought on the deficit.
No worries. Just take your time. So here's the thing. When we say a full scholarship in the US, it covers 20 hours of graduate assistantship work. Normally it takes care of your tuition, and then they give you stipends. So depending on which city you're going to, sometimes some of the living expenses and then the initial cost you will encounter as a student. That is why some schools put some deficit there. Let me give you a typical example. When I was doing my second master's degree at University of Kentucky, that was an MPA, I had a full scholarship, all right. Now, my scholarship was such that I didn't pay anything. Sometimes you have a scholarship and maybe at the end of the semester you have some insurance or some little fees to pay. University of Kentucky, I wasn't even paying a dime. I was being paid stipends every 2 weeks. Guess what? My I-20, before I could take it, I had to produce, there was a deficit of about 5,000 or so. Meanwhile, when I entered the program, I didn't pay any fees, and then I was being paid stipend. So sometimes what you have to understand is that, so based on experience in that specific international office, maybe they just want you to have some amount on you before you get here. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time when you get into the system for you to get your social security number, for you to create a bank account, for them to start paying you. Meanwhile, when you come, you have to get, those accommodation and other things going. So some of these amounts may not be any big deal. Again, if you say if it's a good offer, it means that you have another offer you're going to compare. Based on what you're saying, the offers you have, you are yet to the offers you're talking about, you are yet to receive them. So have a loaf. Obviously, it's better than none. A bird in hand is worth twice in the bush. So if you had these offers and you are comparing them, great. But now you don't have them. This is what you have. It's a full offer. Go ahead, get your I-20 and start your visa process, just like you mentioned. Another thing is that the fact that you're accepting this one does not necessarily mean that you're throwing the other ones away. Now, you could actually go for your visa interview with the current, based on the current situation we have now. Maybe tomorrow it will change. But you can go for your interview with your current university. When you get here and you feel like the other offers that came, even though they didn't come early, is better than what you have, then when you get here, even though you have your visa, you can switch to the other school. So you have a lot of flexibility. So you could wait for the other two. By the time all of them comes, this would have still been your better offer. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So there's no need wasting time. If you have a second question, and you see what we just did, John's been asking a question, Eddie responding. We do this almost every single day on TikTok. The Eddie talked to us about that. So, we have a whole team. Yeah, it's either Prof is online, all of us will join. Eddie is online, all of us will join. Dr. Kofi is online. Festus is online. So Eddie, let's have a little conversation about. Just we'll come back to you, but we want people to know that we are not answering these questions just on weekends. We do this live session almost every single day.
Every single day,
yeah, on TikTok. And so, Eddie, what's your TikTok handle? Funny though.
So my TikTok handle is let me see.
Let's see the current name.
Yeah, the current. Let me do the current name. The TikTok is Edk at Edk 233.
Yeah, but we have a whole team that we one goes live and we all join and we'll be responding to questions just like we just did for Bora. Bora, what's your second question, bro?
So, sir, currently I'm serving as a teaching assistant as well. So,
good.
At the University of Ghana here. So,
okay,
I've been also like I've been able to save some, ransom money that when I convert, it will sum up to I think $2,500 US. So I had by the grace of God. So I had wanted to find out that can I match that statement with my uncle's statement that he wants to give me?
Eddie, you want to go on?
Oh, I mean, you can merge it. You can have that as a support, right? But your uncle's statement, I don't know how much it is in it, but it can also be enough, But it's always good, Sometimes, right? Let me tell you this. Okay, you can do that. You can probably merge that. You can go with both your bank statement and your uncle's bank statement as well. Your uncle can be the one sponsoring your deficit, and you can be supporting yourself as well. That's why. Let me say this: when you have the chance to be in front of the visa officer, right?
Yeah.
I don't want you to let your focus be on the deficit that you have, to override the package that you've gotten. So try and then make sure that even though practically you have to find a means to cater for that, right? But when you go there, try and make sure you let the visa officer know that of course this scholarship that you got is really worth you and you deserve it, and that the program that you're going to study is really worth much more than the deficit that you have. That's my because the Fed effect, they will go in and they will be readily available to answer questions that have to do with their deficit, and wouldn't be concentrating on your first question to why the school would actually debunk your deficit that you have, would debunk anything that has to do with the deficit that you have. So the most important thing I can tell you that try as much as possible to master everything that has to do with why you chose this school, why you got this program, why you got this particular funding, and how valuable this funding is to you, to the point that it wouldn't even lead to them asking you how you're going to pay for the deficit. That's my way right now. So maybe the Fed can probably come in, or maybe how you can handle that aspect as well.
Yeah, I think Eddie, you answered that perfectly. And in terms of, can you use your personal statement? Can you use your uncle's statement? This question is perfectly answered by the school. So you see, let's understand that in terms of financial statement requirement, every university have what they want. So for example, if you are going to Kent State University, they will want a bank letter from the school. If you are going to University of Alabama, they are not going to take a bank statement from any other person apart from yourself. So your school has specific instruction, what we call the financial affidavit or financial support form. Take your time and read this. It answers this question. Is it possible you add your statement plus your uncle's own? Do they even accept an uncle's statement? Somebody is also making a good point. Kenny, thank you for commenting on Facebook. He said, how old is he and why won't your uncle send the money into your account? They like personal responsibility. So, what job does Bora also does to have such an amount to, and also if the money is dumped into the account, is it not going to raise eyebrows like 10,000 dumped into Bora's account? So Bora, like Eddie said, focus on the positive side of life. You have a good admission, good school, good funding is the full funding. Focus on entrenching that instead of focusing so much on the little part, which is the 10K deficit, bro.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we are happy for you, and that's what we are here to do. That people are doing this thing, they are making progress, and Bora, we'll be rooting for you. All the best, brother.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk to Bobik Mensah. Eddie, how many minutes do you have for us? Can you still take some questions?
Oh, let's. Oh, my boss half time for. Don't worry.
Yeah, Bobik Mensah. You have to unmute your microphone, sir. Radio way intimate radio way. Bobik, I don't know what's wrong with your connection, but maybe you should fix it. If you want to join us, I just shared the link on our various platforms on TikTok. You can click on that link and join us directly in the studio, so you can ask Eddie all the questions. And like what we are doing, we do it all the time on our various, Dr. Issa. If you go to YouTube, TikTok, search for Dr. Issa. If you go to TikTok, search for Festus Eno, search for Eddie's TikTok handle, and then Tilly. We have a whole team that almost all the time
very
we are
diverse team.
Yeah. responding to questions and all that. So you can be following our TikTok handles. Anytime it is live, you see me somewhere there. Let's see if Bobic can tune down the radio, and let's see if we can hear Bobic. Let's try one more time. Okay, looks like Bobic is not Bobicking. So Nana Mponsa, which part of Sunyani are you watching us from? I'm from Sunyani, so Nana is watching us from Sunyani on YouTube. Let's see, Fred. Make sure we all understand whatever is going on. So take your time. On who's track? Okay. Anyway, I don't even understand your English, so you to take your time and type so that I also understand you. Yeah, but Ben, what are you saying? Your microphone is muted.
He's saying that Fred always makes sure we all understand whatever is going on. So take your time, no. You they give anyone who is struggling or getting it quicker than we can understand. So he was referring to the one who was asking the question.
Okay. Carlos, yeah, knows what type he said. Anyway, Esinam is watching us from Tema. Thank you for tuning in, Esinam. I think let's see who is here. Jennifer Brown. Hi, Jennifer. How you doing? Your microphone is muted. Jennifer. Jennifer, you can't find the mute button. It's just close on your phone there. Look for it. You see some microphone there. You just have to click it so that the cancellation will be.
Hi.
Hi, talk to Eddie.
Okay. Hi, Mr. Ed.
Hi, Jennifer. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Good evening.
Good
Thanks
evening.
for your time on this
You're
platform.
welcome.
So I had a few questions. So I actually got an admission into one of the universities, which is the Rice State University in Ohio, US. And I got funding, but it was just 20.
Jennifer, it's called Ohio.
Ohio, sorry. Thank you for that. And I got funding, but it was just 20%, which is $4,000 for every semester. So that's $8,000 per year.
Mm-hmm.
But the fees I'm supposed to pay for the annual is like $32,711. So I didn't know if I know it's not that much because it's just 20%. Looking at the amount I'm supposed to pay, and I've also emailed them, but I haven't yet gotten any response yet. So I just wanted to confirm if you guys think I should just hold on to wait for a message, or I should like terminate it and look into other schools because the funding is not that much.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us well? Good.
Yes.
So first of all, congrats on your admission and the fund that you have, right? But I think I would allow Fred to tell you exactly what to do with regards to application. But let me send this information out there. Sometimes when you get certain offers, right, it's just a stepping stone in our study abroad journey, right? Some offers, some admission that we get is just to inform us that, oh, there's much more we can do. Oh, there are opportunities out there, So it's more or less like they are just giving it to you just to inform you that at the end of the day, you have to explore more, right? So you should be proud of yourself that indeed the videos that you've been watching, the Fred Effect podcast that you come on every Saturday, is really yielding some results in you, which is very good thing. That's how I want you to see it right now. All right. I think you are still young, you are very beautiful. And if you stay up to track, right, the admission that you have is something that you inform. So do you know, say, aside Rice State University, there are other schools that can give you full funding. There are other schools that can give you 60%. Those schools are the ones they are looking for you right now. So Rice University is just telling you that, okay, please, I see that you are very qualified. I want you, but I'm giving you 20%. But you tell Rice University, okay, please, you can wait. I want to find a school that is giving me 90%, 70%. So it's up to you right now to sit down, right? And also explore opportunities to give you more funding, to give you better package. This is a stepping stone. This is a very good achievement, trust me. But it's more or less like you are building your CV in life right now, So you are building your CV in study abroad. Just right now, we are in January, right? Take your time from now till, let's say, May. Sit down and know for sure how. You can even ask Rice State University right now. Okay, I am very appreciative of the 20% that you've given to me. But is there a chance that I can put in, or is there anything else that I can do to increase my offer? You know, they can tell you, okay, you have to write the SAT, you have to do this, there are scholarships available to this, that it can help you increase your offer. Tell them that, of course, the 20% is something that you really valuable much, but then the 80% is something that's really very difficult for you to, pay. So is there a chance that, is there anything else that you can do extra, to maximize your package? Trust me, there will be a different information to you that will be very relevant for you to sit down and also put in maybe it might even require you to send a letter from your mom to get above 20%. You don't know that, right? So try and then send a message. And when they give you that information will equip you, right, going forward into other schools to also get a very better funding than that. So that's why I said it's a stepping stone for you right now. Try as much as possible to do it. Instead of, let's say, relying on it being your ultimate offer, please don't do that. Try as much as possible to expand as well. So whoever that is watching us, when you get admission for the very first time, remember that can be a stepping stone for you to also capitalize on it to get more funding or explore more opportunities. Okay, I hope I've answered your question.
Right. So another thing is, do you have, is it a high school qualification you have that you used to apply? You have to unmute your microphone, Jennifer. You're muted.
So when I was applying, by then I just completed my nursing training college. So by then my transcript wasn't ready. So I wrote to them and they told me to put in my high school transcript and the certificate. So I'm kind of thinking that is what they based on to accept me into the nursing, BSN nursing.
Okay, so it's a bachelor's degree program you've gained admission into.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then your highest academic qualification is a 3-year diploma.
Yes, please.
Great. So what you have to understand is that it's not as if when you apply, that was when that university started giving that scholarship. Actually, if you had read on their website, you get to know that that's what they offer. And so if you're applying, it means that you're ready to take care of the rest of the cost of attendance. So if you have a diploma in nursing and you have a strong CGPA, understand that you can use a 3-year diploma to apply for a master's degree. You can decide to also have a top-up so that you combine the top-up and the diploma to apply for a master's degree as well. And then with that same diploma, you can apply to different institutions as a transfer or as a continuing student. You need to pay attention to the fact that if you write SAT, it helps with you getting a good scholarship for bachelor's degree. The second thing is that if you want to apply to the school, you can find out how much they are going to offer you even before you apply. So actually, there are universities or colleges that give full scholarship for bachelor's degree. Write SAT. Either you fill out what we call CSS profile or what we call International Student Financial Aid application. So there are actually scholarships. And like Eddie said, it's good that you have taken a step to notice that, I can even do the application on my own. And I say you didn't pay anything and you have some admission, a scholarship. So, that is an encouragement to push further. Thank you for joining, my sister.
Thank you for.
All right, let's talk to Nuruddin. Sadiq. Nuruddin, Nuruddin, Abigail, Efia. Is a fear here. Hi, Abigail. Abigail, your microphone is muted. You have to unmute it. And you need to put your video on if you want to talk to us. Okay, Abigail is not ready. Abigail is not ready. So whenever you're ready, Abigail, we can pick you on. You can also request and join us live. You have questions for Eddie, he'll be happy to respond to that. Let's see if we have some comment in the comment section, and then we can be reading them and be responding to them as well.
And let me shout out to Dr. Isa, like you mentioned earlier, right?
Yeah.
I always say that Dr. Isa, Dr. Kofi, and I think Dr. Isa has been doing so well to also bring some of his colleagues, professors on board as well during our TikTok lives, right?
Yeah.
So if you are in Ghana, you have the benefit to experience the professors in the US yourself about how you can go by submitting applications, how you can. And Dr. Isa is so lenient to the point that he goes the extent of reviewing your SOPs for you, your CVs for you, if only you submit in a very genuine SOP from yourself. So he's so much good to the extent that he can review your SOP. He has his email available for everyone that you can go online. He's a professor here in the US and can help you get your. He also shares some content on schools and scholarships as well online. And like I said, one of the things that I cherish about him and his presence so much is the fact that we never had this kind of opportunity, friend, whereby during our time you have direct contact with professors like this here in the US who can tell you. So in your time, you have all these opportunities. So just take advantage of them. Yeah.
Great. Take advantage of them. So every single day, if you follow our handles on TikTok, you'll notice that when one person goes live, we'll all be there to support and be responding to questions. Roland has a question. Please, can you use my art education background to pursue a different course for my master's? Yes, of course. Once you have a bachelor's degree, most programs in terms of graduate programs do not expect that you have a certain background. Some require that you have certain prerequisites, courses taken. All you need to do is that if you want to do that, make sure you email the coordinator of the program, share a copy of your transcript. When I wanted to apply for my MP, I did that, and they asked me if I have a maths and economics background. Unfortunately, I did for my undergrad, and so if I didn't have that, it means they were not going to admit me. Let's talk to Efia. Hi, Efia.
Hello, good evening.
Efia, talk to us.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. So my question, I think the lady that came earlier on, I got the answer, but I still wanted to ask about. So I've gotten admission to Baylor University, and then for spring 2026, the offer I got for the scholarship was little. For the semester, I'm going to be given, I think, $1,000, and then my cost of attendance is for the semester is about $30,000. Yes, per semester. So even though I'd reached out to them for additional funding and all that, they've actually encouraged me to apply for other sources of funding, but I've still not gotten any response yet. Even though I have a bank statement that covers the whole deficit for the whole year, everything, but I wanted to know whether I should still go ahead with it or pause and try other options, as you were saying earlier.
Yeah, I think the answer to the lady's question, Eddie made it generic such that it covers yours, and you are talking about undergraduate applications, right?
So, graduate.
Okay, so what program is it?
Medication Science and Disorders.
All right, so Baylor is a good university, and it's a university that has a lot of programs. I think Dr. Mahmoud Baumia even taught in that university in Texas. So before applying, did you talk to anybody in the department, and they assured you they had funding? Okay, so if you've gained admission, you have to reach out back to them, be appreciative for being considered for the admission and the scholarship they gave you. Ask if, in terms of the graduate assistantship, you'll be automatically considered, or maybe there will be, it will be awarded later on if you have to apply for it or attend an interview for it. So reach out to someone. Don't just keep what you have. Currently, schools are on a break, so maybe when you send an email, you might not get an immediate response. So from January 5th or to January 10th, a lot of universities will resume, and maybe they will start answering your questions for you.
Yes, please. So I reached out to them, and then they told me that I'll be considered automatically. However, most of the time, the decisions are in December and January, as they said.
So we are in January, so hopefully you get to hear from them.
Okay. So I was just thinking, visa processing, or if I should just wait till I get everything.
So if you are very confident about the funding, I would suggest that since you have a financial statement, secure your I-20, start your visa process. Now, when you are emailing the coordinator about the funding, you have a progress to communicate as well. So I have been able to secure my I-20. Now I'm working on my visa process. I wanted to reach out and find out when I should expect to hear from you on the funding decision. So when you communicate a progress that you are doing something, you have secured I-20, you are preparing for visa interview, they will know that one of the things they are concerned about is when international students are being awarded funding and they are unable to show up. So if you show any element of progress, then they will know that, oh, even if we offer you funding, visa is not going to be an issue and you will show up. You get it? Other than waiting for them and later on you get a full funding, now struggling to get a visa interview, knowing very well that now you cannot go to another country for your visa interview. Everything has to be done in Ghana. All right. All the best, Abigail. Hopefully we'll get to meet you here. I don't know when I'll be in Texas, but yeah. So let's see if Sadiq Bora. Okay, Bora was on. That's it. All right, Eddie, it's been a great session having you on. We meet all the time on the live section, and we appreciate the perspective and ideas you've shared with us today. So, what has made settling in the US easier for you? Is it because your brother was here? Is it because of your friend who helped you in Little Rock? What made it easier? If somebody is coming, they don't know anybody where they are going. What made life, what made you to suit settle in easily?
Yes, I mean, I think it has to do part of it has to do with shout outs to Henry. So part of it has to do with, as I said earlier, I had a friend of mine who actually convinced me to choose here over Mississippi. So in terms of accommodation, he helped me out even before I came in. In terms of like any like going to, when you come and even if you have a room, you need to make sure you arrange your room and stuff, going to Walmart, going to get your SIM, everything that has to do with, you getting yourself adjusted into the system. I think if you have someone here, that really help a lot. So it doesn't have to be a direct friend from campus. It doesn't have to be a family member. It can be anyone, as long as the person is can be somehow connected as well. So one of the easiest way that if you're an international student, you can probably connect with people aside platforms like this or on TikTok, is that you can also go on LinkedIn. That helps a lot, because I remember when I decided to go to University of Mississippi, I didn't know anyone apart from the professor, right? But when I was looking for accommodation, I reached out to a friend of mine, on LinkedIn, who I think now I can call her a friend. But then I reached out to like someone I didn't know on LinkedIn, and he helped me. She was helping me out to secure accommodation at Mississippi. So LinkedIn is one of the tools that you can also utilize to get people at the various campuses wherever that you want to go. And TikTok live as well. You can come on live like the Freddie Fett live, Festus Inu's live, and Phyllis live, Dr. Isa, Dr. Kofi's live as well. And Connect is X, and obviously we can get people that are into wherever that you want to go that want to help you out. I think the Freddie Fett, you have actually dealt with thousands of people that are across different universities. So you can, these are one of the things that you can probably get yourself, adjusted when you come to the US. If you know someone, it really helps. Yeah.
Right. What was difficult to get used to? The weather, the accent, the food. What was difficult to get used to?
So I tell people every day, right? There is an aspect of our life that we are still experiencing, no matter the years of experience that you have been in the US. There will still be one way that are very difficult for them to understand you, right? But the most important thing is for you to understand them. That's very important. And I have had stories of people saying that when they speak, you don't understand. I never had that challenge, because maybe I've been a very big fan of like TV shows and stuff before I came here. So I'm quite used to the way they speak and stuff, But the way we speak to them is quite different, because we learned how to speak the English. But they were born with it. It's two different things. So obviously, there's the likelihood that you talk and someone will say, "Can you repeat that again? I can't hear you." And you don't have to get offended. It's normal. You don't have to get offended. It's normal. And there's a chance that you can ask a question in class and they'll ask you, I can't hear you. What's your question again? You just want to make sure you sound very, audible and clear as well. So these are normal things that you adjust to as an international student. That obviously you encounter, but some people might probably treat it differently as well.
You keep mentioning the name of your friend, obviously your brother. Throughout this journey, some people have helped you out. Who do you want to say thank you to? Shout outs to anybody?
So I say thank you to my parents, first of all. Thank you to the God Almighty in the first place. Thank you to my parents a lot, because for their efforts taking me through kindergarten, through to JHS, through to SHS. And thanks to my brother's efforts during the critical moment of my life, through to tertiary and stuff. And my friends, the friends that I got, especially my friend in Canada who actually brought this whole study abroad ideas, starting from Germany. yes, who exposed me to this area, and also to people that I've met in this study abroad journey, like the Freddy Fetcher videos, Yemi Adalako, Case for the these are people that have actually helped me to get this dream materialized, And I want to say thank you to everyone that has played a major role in this process. Whoever that is also applying right now, whatever information that you come across, don't take it lightly. Treat it with urgency, and it's going to help you. Yeah.
All right, it's been a great session talking to Eddie. He's a very intelligent gentleman, and you didn't say shout out to your girlfriend or wife. That one,
my girlfriend, my wife. Shout out to all my wives. Shout out to all my girlfriend, my crushes. Everyone that's watching me. We're passing on you. Shout out to my girlfriend. Shout out to my wives. Shout out to my potential mothers, baby mamas, and everyone. You're all welcome. Shout out to you all.
Happy New Year to
shout
you.
Out to Zika. Shout out to Zika.
Yeah, shout out to Zika. Yeah, man.
Shout out to Zika.
So shout out to all our people. Shout out to Festus, Audrey, Zika, Dr. Isa, Dr. Kofi. I need to have everybody on the podcast,
Of course, you need to.
Yeah, Tilly, shout out to everybody.
Dr. Kofi. Dr. Kofi, yeah. He has been, he has been very instrumental,
Yeah.
Especially an aspect that most of us don't want to explore.
Exactly. That's what he enters into.
Yeah,
he talks about almost everything.
Almost immigration, almost everything.
Yeah. Everything.
One of my Chamabali will say, let him talk. Please don't talk.
Shout out to Chamambali, man.
Yeah, shout out to everyone,
Yeah. If you want to do this thing, focus on platform that talks about, say who person you now talk out. Yeah, no busa type work. What is it?
Yeah.
Ocean Yama Kaseka crowd social media. No betie, study abroad and some
I mean, you see, the realities on the ground is quite sad. And imagine say you go to school for 4 years, right? And you complete school and recommendation is very difficult for you to get. These are things that are really worrisome. And I don't know why people that are mature as grad students with undergrad degree, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't see the best for themselves. It's very sad. They don't see the best for them. December course, just this past December, go to the shows that they were going to. People spent a lot, including themselves and their girlfriends.
Yeah.
But yet they will still come online and ask for application fees.
Mm-hmm.
So these are things that I think for sure say when you're in Ghana right now, your girlfriend will reject you if you don't have money. Your girlfriend will probably dump you for other guy because you're not rich, right? And if you don't, the last time I think you and I were having this conversation, if you don't place value in yourself, there's no way you attract value for yourself.
Yeah.
You probably end up with people that the reason why your girlfriend actually rejected you or dumped you for a good reason, because there's no value in you as a guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And one of the easiest way that even if I'm not rich, I'm confident that my girlfriend will not leave me, that you see something very valuable in me as a person.
Yeah.
And that is what I encourage in everyone, So guys, if you're in Ghana and you are a boy, Charlie, make take these things as a joke, Try and put in this application and it's really going to help. If you're a lady too, it's not a matter of you going to settle down with a man or spending years or months in your boyfriend's house. Try and then make sure that you tap or you become an opportunist, tap from your boyfriend for the better good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Discussing with our apply schools almost on from our John family.
It's been a great session. And some people
okay, so all right, if you want to have another aspect of me, come on TikTok live.
Yeah, sure. So catch us on TikTok and follow Eddie. Repeat your social media handles and
all right, so on Instagram it's quite simple. On Instagram is edmonosei.5544, right? That is on Instagram. That's the first initials of my Gmail. That's edmonosei.5544 on Instagram. And on TikTok is Eddie K. That's Eddie. That's this time around it's not EDDIE, it's EDDY. EDDY and K is KAYY. That's Eddie K on TikTok.
Right.
And on Twitter is Eddie K. The same thing, Eddie K233 on Twitter. Yes. On Snap, I'm not really that active. So these are my 3 strong Twitter handles that you can reach out to me.
Can you repeat the email? You said the email
email is Edmond Osei. That's Edmond. That's EDMOND OSEI.5544@gmail.com.
All right. So I'm putting the Gmail on the screen, and you can, email it. People have been through the process. You don't have to struggle. Link up with it. If you're a serious guy, you need to be serious. If you're
You
not
have to see
serious,
it before you link up. And then if
Yeah.
you're a lady and you're beautiful, you can reach out to me and you get an automatic reply.
All right. It's been a great session. I think you.
All right, Ben. Nice meeting you guys.
Yeah, you set up the year for us on a good note. Thank you so much, Eddie.
Thank
It's
you
great
for your
having
time,
you on.
Eddie.
All right, thank you so much.
All right. Any final words, Ben? And then we wrap up.
Yeah, since today is our first podcast for the year, I just want to give one small hint about this whole process. Sometimes you may have your plan, or you may have your vision, or the reason why you want to study abroad. The one thing that we need to understand is that each program has program overview. And in the program overview, the department try as much as possible to explain the purpose of the program. Please, in 2026, we don't want you to make this mistake. So that's why I want to share this information to you. So when you click on any program, want to see whether you meet the requirement, one of the things that you need to understand is that does your purpose match with the purpose of the program? So for instance, if a program is meant to train professional businessmen and you want to become a lecturer, and that is why you're applying for the program, the question is there a relationship or is there a correlation of plans, which is very, very important. So anytime you are applying.
Ben, it's quite unfortunate. So Ben is giving a very good gist. Unfortunately, the background sound is not something social media really tolerates. So let's see if we can continue. Can we continue, Ben? Oh, okay. That's quite unfortunate. If you are a parent, you understand what is going on. It's quite unfortunate, but the social media thing does not allow when there is that sound of a baby at the background. So yeah, Ben is a parent, so you should understand. Let's see if I can bring him back. Ben, let's see if we can continue. Can we continue? Please go on.
Yes. I think it's fine now. So all that I'm saying is that, for instance, if the purpose of the program is meant to train professional businessmen and you want to become a teacher, the one thing you need to understand is that obviously you are missing out from the purpose of the program. So take your time, go through the program overview, understand the mission and the vision of the program and the department as well. And even if that is not your plan, then you have to make sure that you align your application, your SOP and your CV to meet the vision and then the mission of the department. And I'm sure it is going to position you as one of the top candidates. So please, in 2026, this is what I want to share with you in your application. And I hope that your story is going to be massive and the Fred Effect team will be hosting you to share your study abroad process. Happy New Year, stay positive, and I'm sure that the good Lord will see us through this study abroad journey. Thank you so much for joining us always.
Before we sign off today, apart from helping people with the study with the information you need, just like Eddie mentioned, if you go on our YouTube channel, TikTok, all our social media, we share a lot of insightful information. If you take your time and watch the video, you may not need to contact me. The reason why I decided to put those videos out is because it was a lot on me trying to talk to people one-on-one to tell them the same information all the time, and so that's why we made those videos. So if you take your time to watch them, you can technically follow the entire process and work on it on your own. It's not rocket science. We've put all the information out there. However, if you still need assistance and you want us to help you one way or the other, we also have avenues to do that. At the moment, we are the only team that is taking people's transcript and then WASSCE results. If you have a WASSCE results, send it to us directly on Instagram. We'll let you know if it is a D7, E8, A throughout, which school you can apply to get admission and a scholarship. If you also have a bachelor's degree, diploma, send us your transcript directly on Instagram. It's the Fred Effect. It's a verified account. We have over 28,000 family members. So it's a popular account as well. And so if you send us your transcript, we'll let you know if this transcript can secure your admission and scholarship. We can't always be here to tell you what to do without, reaching, making ourselves accessible and reachable so that if you need assistance, we can help you. We also have a means by which you can schedule a one-on-one meeting with our team. You use the link I'm sharing on the screen. It's called selar.co/4JIW. We can schedule a 30-minute meeting to discuss your process if you need help. My team handles undergraduate applications for free. So if you have a high school diploma and you want to pursue your bachelor's degree, all you need to do is to schedule a meeting. We'll explain the entire process to you. I have a team on standby that will take your documents and help you to work on the application for free. And we've been doing that for a very long time, helping a lot of people. We don't talk about it because we already have a lot of people reaching out, and normally we don't want to over popularize it or something like that. All right. The Fred Effect team also have a collaboration with Argo Visa. Argo Visa is a team of ex-visa officers. So if you're preparing for a visa interview, remember, getting an interview date is a little bit challenging at this time. So when you get one, you don't want to miss. So use the link I'm sharing on the screen to talk to an ex-visa officer. One of our highest viewed video has over 1.4 million views on YouTube. This is the only Study Abroad content platform that has that number of views on YouTube. 1.4 million views on a close to like 13 minutes or 15 minutes video, an interview with an ex-visa officer explaining, and that video has really helped a lot of people to get their visa approved. If you've not subscribed, go to the Fred Effect YouTube channel and then subscribe. Check out our videos and you'll be a blessing. This year, you have to study abroad. And remember, you are not late. There are still universities admitting in the February and the January deadlines, rolling admissions that you can apply. Also, at the beginning of every study abroad podcast session on Saturdays, we share universities you can apply for free. This week, we shared Louisiana State University at Shreveport, and then we also shared Rochester University. If you rewatch this video, I explain how you can get it, and then Vanderbilt University as well. The name has been the Fred Effect. My co-host has been Ben. Our guest was Eddie. Please be positive and know that everything will be fine. I'll see you next week.